of. He's okay against the Nyx as well. There's a lot of ways to cancel at shackles. The Razor can kill you kind of easily.
Entrat
The
mo
T1 guys are so cool that we're gonna see them on stream as well.
Gila. Flexing.
So today we just get to see a glimpse of all the teams playing right now, right? That's what's cool about this stream.
If you don't want to catch T1, or over on the C stream, twitch.tv/ESL.
Yeah, on the C stream.
Yes.
Apakah bisa menangkan Boom gue?
Bring
Boom
everybody.
B3 Haram.
B stream, best stream. There, we even have the Tundra.
Iya, iku pas ning main Tundra gak sih?
Yes, it sucks as well. We're gonna get the Skyrath Mage now picked up for Bet Boom. So this is a Shadow Shaman 5, most likely, I'd say. Interesting combination. The Skyrath Mage definitely very enabled this game. Obviously, you play around the Mystic Flare. You combine this with the Shackles here on the Shaman and the Spear. So you have two good targets to be able to burst people down, and a great punish for that Winter Wyvern. The Nyx Assassin can be a bit of a nuisance. Concussive Shot and Mystic Flare are both kind of uncontrollable damage. He can stun you and quickly kill you with a Mana Burn as well. But honestly, Nyx counters a lot of the heroes in general. That's why he's such a solid first pick. You are going to pick a hero that's going to be countered by Nyx eventually.
Yep. Yeah, but the silence and of course the movement speed slope being percentage versus a Razor is especially punishing when he wants to go out aggressively. And as you say, the kill threat of just spear or is very high. These are definitely two supports that rotate mid. Maybe one spell just simply off a hex and could really get a kill quite easily for whatever Bet Boom end up throwing into the mid lane, which I don't think we've seen yet. It very well could be Laurel mid lane Mars, right? But
I'm leaning towards the noticed Mars right now, because if you also have noticed, like Mars plus Skyrath, one of the better heroes. Actually, the only melee hero I think, plus it's Pango, that can deal with him. Razor still wins the lane as he usually does, but less so than he would against Tide. We'll see what OG decides to run here though, because they have to start defining their cores. And the first position Razor will not be going in is the carry lane.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be the Wraith King. Of course, still that faster activation, that timing on the Armlet's Blink Deso, right? Usually it's going to be the go time. Tends to do well against these kind of, I hold you down and nuke you with a big spell. Oh no, Wraith King comes back with a second life. He's got BKB, he jumps us, and things get really, really difficult in the fight after that reincarnation. 60-second cooldown now on that thing, though, as compared to 40 seconds. So some teams have shied away from the hero, as it does leave him a little bit of a less annoyance in the hyper late game, right? But he's still quite strong. He can definitely play with Razor's timings as well, and he can utilize the vision that the Nyx Assassin gives him to just jump, ideally, this Shaman or the Skyrath Mage, and blow them up with literally one crit.
Yep. The beauty of the Wraith King in this game, of course, as you said, is the covering against these burst damage lineups. You do have a fair amount of sustained damage afterwards, though, with the Mars in general. They have a lot of ways of just continuing the fight, but of course, this nullifies a lot of the impact that the two supports want to get, so they're gonna have to play a little bit more creatively. The counter initiation on OG is really high. Nyx is one of the best counter initiators, so is the Winter Wyvern, now the Wraith King with Reincarnation. OG has a lot of ways to quote-unquote make mistakes and then get away with it regardless.
Punish it with the lack of mobility from Beast Coast. Sure, they can defend towers, but they're relying on kind of the perfect execution of their limited lockdown to kill off a Quap.
Yeah, Beast Coast did play both Mars and Veno when they won against Boom. This was the mid Veno that we talked about. Chris Luck does love to play it. I also remember throughout the DPC he brought it out 1 or 2 times and looked really good on it. But the reason why they paired it up with Mars is because Veno doesn't have any kind of lockdown. So Mars, like, Veno scales, don't get me wrong, but you also want to have like a scaling stun coming out from the offlane as well.
Yeah, like if I'm EG right now, if you initiate poorly and your Cop blinks in or your CK, Rarity Rifts and locks down a hero, if you don't kill them in that moment, you're going to get Ice Path, Macropyre, Gale, Poison Nova, everything's going to be thrown onto you. Beast Ghost's ability to just be annoying in these team fights, reacting is insane.
Sing lolos T1 Tundra Boom kan?
I intend to push you.
Iya.
Show me what you're made of.
Nice.
Having any fun yet?
Apa bracket? Bet Boom.
To me, if you're gonna run coddle,
Bet Boom bisa iso iku aja. Bet Boom bisa iso tumbling aja.
you cannot just pick the coddle
Kalah.
and this is two
lupa aku.
different good pairings. experience, like you mentioned.
Apa gak nonton OG Bad Boom aja anjir?
Probably bristle back
Malah
and forth
tiba-tiba.
in earlier stages of the game. You can sort of
dengerin
keep
saya, siapa
strong
tahu
lane and then
di
bristle
kameranya
or
Uchi,
Hango,
kameranya
the double
sini.
swashbuckle, double
Yeah.
shield.
Anjir, anjir.
You know,
and they
more
can still run
exemplified
this
here.
model,
You want
but,
heroes that can
we're
avoid
gonna
these
see what
ganks. You
Duran
already
and
have the
Rastic are
ability to
gonna do. I
sacrifice your
would say
support,
no.
which they will be because they're kind of all-in supports. And then your cores can get away.
Okay,
And this is why these run-at-you lineups have become weaker and weaker because you essentially need incredible positioning to be able to make this work. However, if OG could pick a
Anjir,
little
tapi
bit more
hero-nya
initiative,
yakin gue
still
pernah
have
lihat
some
pakai
options,
gua
they could
Amar
actually be
lagi.
able to
Tau nggak
come together
Amar
really
Amar
well,
Azir
just
dia lagi
to deal with. I'm assuming that
Dan
he's a
Sep
mid laner. I would like to see the Razor in the
main
mid lane.
I agree
Winter
with
Wyvern.
that.
Winter
And
Wyvern
Winter
jadi
Wyvern, I was going to
That's
suggest
good.
the Ember
That's good.
actually, as we'll see who
Sejujurnya
locks in what,
yo,
just in case.
Yeah, it is Ember
Ember
mid.
Ember mid for
api
GZM.
What is fantastic
draftnya
about this is that
Bedroom.
Ember is certainly an initiator, but a very low commitment initiator. So it works great with
well,
counter
yes.
initiation lineups.
For
Because
this
oftentimes
draft.
when you find yourself out of position, like
Yeah.
Wraith King or Razor brand,
apa ya?
and you don't have Winter Wyvern
Ember
nearby,
Spirit ya,
almost
depan
like you
Shaman
have
King
to
yang nyala.
initiation, right? It's kind of bad.
Ah,
So
tapi
the
biasa.
poking and prodding of BZM allows you to
Ember
utilize the Nyx
Spirit
vision
ya,
really well,
depan
allows you to
Shaman
actually get
King,
vision
dia
yourself with the
depan
sleight of
Mage,
vision, and on
dia
top of that,
depan
you're
Pak,
capable of
anjir.
doing things like just trying to test the
Apa ya,
waters,
anjir ya?
seeing what Bedboom wants to do. The more
Kita
resources
tergantung sih.
Bedboom commit in the beginning of the
Kalau
fight,
misal
the easier it is for you to
Uchi-
take it. So I do like both
Uchi
lineups. I
butuh
actually think OG did a
Juraki-
really good answer
Juraki
to what
signing.
Bedboom's usual running gun style is.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to bat for
Well,
Bedroom
then.
personally.
I agree.
I think anytime you pick a spirit into a hex, you're always kind of rolling the dice here, especially because not only do they have the hex,
Tergantung
they
Taika
can
game
follow up
juga
with
ini.
the ancient seal, amping the magic
Phoenix
damage up
biru aja.
the Hawk Visage, amping the Puck's damage, which I think
Oh, oleh saran nggak?
the Switchblade build.
Yep.
So that's very
Apa
punishing
tap-tap musuh
indeed.
liane lah iso di iguno saya. Ben
Speaking
gak
of
Spiro
buffs, we
kono.
don't have any buffer for the
Ben
Ember
gak
Spirit, there's
like
no I don't know, ogre, not a good example, but
Mata
Hawk
dia.
especially, right, is one we always see with this guy.
Enggak, di sini
And again, just the poke and prod, I don't know
Soalnya
if Ember's going to
double
quite give you
stream. Ya,
enough
itu
catch.
agak
Maybe
berat.
something
Gue
else like
paling.
a Kunkka or something would have been a bit better.
Double
But
stream ya.
it's what OG have picked here, and I think really a lot relies on Seb getting good curses in these fights because that's their biggest control. The curses have to be on point. Big problem though is that Bedboom played perfectly around these big team fight ultis. We saw that in our first series yesterday, didn't we?
Nggak bisa
Yeah.
pakai 60
One of the
FPS,
issues the Ember's going to face, of course, is the amount of stuns.
Ya, makanya.
The instant stuns.
Fokus,
as well,
fokus.
and that is going to...
Fokus, gila.
Like it is a good
Ini
Ember
kurang
game for
ngeklik
the
link nih
draft.
di surat
It
di
might not be
loh.
the best Ember
Check
game,
that.
right?
Yes.
And that's one of the issues when you play like especially a mid lane or any sort of protagonist role, particularly the mid and the safe lane. When you feel really countered, that pressure can get to players quite easily. So we'll see if the young ones are actually going to
Sumpah.
combo under it or if they're
Demi stream ke bocil-bocil iki.
Pardon, and yeah,
Oh,
it can be a bit
aku
frustrating,
langsung
right, when you're
menjadi
trying
lo-
to play this kind of
Kayak
run
anonim,
and
is.
enemies just
Sing nggak
kind
ding
of
kuis of
hacks, their puck gets away, Visage flies over a wall,
Kuis
Mark
of-
blinks back, and
Yep.
you just get like a crappy shaman. Like it can be a bit, and he buys back anyway for the Roche fight. So definitely a big test of the patience, and I think that's where it helps to have these more experienced players, right, being able to kind of ease the tensions and say, okay, boys, we go in now here. As speaking of going in, Notice is quite eager to check for a ward. He wants scout one there. That's why this ward placement quite key. As if he did scout him here, the tower would have attacked him, and they would have known there was vision, and that ward's probably gone. Taiga is going to be able to scout the observer that was placed early. Puck, one of the best heroes, other than maybe Earth Spirit, planting early wards mid. Hard to really beat those. As Soneko will make a play here for the bounty. 3 heroes ready to fight him though, and with brown boots, Soneko will get off to safety.
Yeah, Amar's positioning I think is going to be also very key for OG's engagement because you don't really have any vision. I guess Nyx can be that person, right, to a degree, but I do feel like Taiga has to do a lot in the team fights as he also gets
Dahak,
shackled.
he took first point here. Yeah, in the soul assumption, which means he's going to try for
More
first blood. He
seconds?
needs a little bit of vision. No, he's not going to be able to get that kill.
Yep.
2 stick charges there probably would have saved him, to be honest. Soneko is giving chase, but no brown boots on Taiga,
Taiga.
but the nice stun there will get him out of trouble.
He does have a good regen and good armor. Usually Nyx is a great attacking ganks early. But yeah, I think eventually it's going to be Amar's positioning that makes the key difference in engagement. Because run at you lineups, you have to be able to determine when is the right time to run at them, and Razor is the key component to this. You don't have enough catch, like you said, it's just a Winter's Curse really. You don't have enough catch to be able to make this work, so especially in the early mid game before Wraithing becomes online, as they also kill Taiga, you're gonna need Amar to fulfill that role.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is a bit of a different build from Dahak. Does he usually go dual null talisman? Am I a little bit crazy here?
I don't think so. I usually saw him just rushing the drums as soon as possible.
I agree. I feel like I've seen a little bit of stats, but mostly just agreed the drums or whatever stat item he feels like going for. So that's maybe slightly interesting here. We'll see how he continues to develop on the build. But for right now, it seems like it's dual null talisman. I wonder if he just wants to be ready to fight early into this Amar BKB timing. Soul Assumption is going to allow the Visage to do a little bit more damage, even with that second value point in these fights, given the amount of high damage. I mean, there's so much splash damage here for OG, right? Ember, Sleight of Fist, Razor always doing damage, so it becomes a very spammable spell. Much to Amar's.
Kamu stream iku mulu apa jenis settingan OBS-mu aja. Suaramu biasanya gak kono soalnya.
He's actually saving the second point because is there even a use of static link in this lane? You gotta get it eventually, but there's really no good target. Shaman's a terrible target for static link.
Especially with brown boots, right? He's even faster than you for now, as he does cancel the healing salve. So the second salve forced for OG in this bottom lane. Still a third one though for Taiga. As a gracious support, making sure that Amar on the electric Zappy boy is going to be able to get off. I wonder what Amar calls him. He must have a name for him.
What, for Taiga?
Yeah, no, for Razor, right? Because he calls Huskar Sacred Warrior.
Right. Razor? I think Razor's always been Razor.
That's true.
So, I don't know. I mean, in Dota 1, we always call them Razor. I don't even know what the other thing is. The Revenant? I think it's Razor the Revenant? Or the Storm Revenant? Or the, Gillette? Not sure. He used to be called Gillette. You know he was almost sponsored in Dota 1?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was almost called Gillette.
That's funny.
Yeah, because they actually wanted to sponsor the Razor hero. But that was actually the guy who eventually made League, and you're like, that's why we have the game.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of history. Uragi, of course, very keen to get that build up in the armlet in the top lane. Helps against the physical harass out from Noticed. And Seb making good use, making good use of the Arctic Burn. Did get its flight duration increased by 2 seconds. That's not the debuff duration. That would be very strong.
Yes.
But the flight is still very good. Allows you to play the dead lane a lot better, a lot easier. You can just fly over the walls and save yourself a lot. That could be the difference maker here. Seb getting the farm for Blink Dagger and really making these clutch initiations for OG.
Yeah, certainly Winter Wyvern has a much... Oh, as Taiga dies, by the way. They killed him with a Soul Assumption there once again from the Hawk. That single level was so powerful. And they certainly increased the Winter Wyvern's laning from absolute hot trash to okay, kind of acceptable sometimes. But when you're up against and Mars, I mean, this lane just right? You need to harass a little bit. He's actually covering Uragi pretty decently, but we're already seeing a win by Mars as expected. There's not much you can do. You can, get the Arctic Burn occasionally, but the constant barrage of Arcane Bolts is still going to And because you also have kill potential on Beast, it's super difficult to play this kind of lane. You have harassment to bring them down low, and the moment
Aku pengen kok jadi pengen main carry Visage sih.
you back and you'll die.
Bisa tuh.
Briefly talk about this. Really OP, but the more I think about it, Shaman's actually really great to play with Soul Assumption because you have a quick
carry Visage
good cast animation. That's always going to give you one charge.
Tapi mending bisa, boleh juga. Tapi kan stun anjir.
Quickly get yourself up to 2 or 3 bars.
Apa itu stun? Yang penting gue boy banter.
Aduh, nggak boy banter tapi nek gak gapoy berdua.
As Noticed is being chased down by the skeletons with brown boots, though he is going to avoid the buffed Splinter Blast.
Yeah, a little more projectile speed now. Nice. They do think they can still kill Uragi, but Seb is blocking that potential spear very well. You can still get the damage off, but you don't get the spear into the tree. So that's what Seb was doing. Really good positioning there, honestly.
Yeah, he even prioritized that over canceling the salve. So you can tell he really wanted to make sure that this Wraith King can stay in lane. Getting this armlet online is a big deal. It really helps you fight versus the Mars.
Yeah, the helm is actually a huge component for this lane because the armor and the regen is already enough to at least tank a little bit of the God's Rebuke. You can still die because, again, this lane is so strong for Pep Boom. But at least you'll be able to hold your own. You can actually go to the jungle kind of early this lane. It's tough because Mars is actually an easy tower pusher. Great stats, right? It can clear wave super easily. It's not the level of, say, a DK, but he will take your tier 1 if you give him space.
There's Link level 2. It's Amar stealing all the damage from Soneko, essentially. And a TP is coming. It's going to be Force Major joining. Both mids are level 6. A Soneko gets up the shock, and that's going to be a kill onto Amar with Force Major rotating over.
I don't know what the right play here is for Amar, but if you study Pep Boom, you know they're one of the earliest teams at making rotations, right? Both on their carry and their mid laner. In this case, it was the 4. And I feel like with Razor, when you have one of these lanes, you just can't afford to play them aggressively, right? He is a good hero at recovering somewhat. Panselfield is a great farming spell, but you need some stacks for him usually, and you usually rely on getting a good lane to snowball, right? And the only advantage that you have as an offlane Razor is that laning stage. and the fact that at 15 minutes or so, you're strong with or without items.
Yep.
So maybe they play around that timing and they just sack his late game as a result.
Nice move on a BZM, the silence to make sure he couldn't get the Arcane Rune. It actually goes to Force Major, who's one of the better early Arcane users as he spams out the spells. Getting through the
Enggak di itu anjir, Sani anjir.
BZM simply drops
Aduh, kenapa gue fuck?
so that'll get Force Major to retreat. And this is something this is why we say it feels so difficult to draft against Betboom, because you have to, it feels necessary to ban these kind of cheese heroes. Yeah,
Shackle-nya anjir.
Shackles, by the way, under tower, the Hex on top of that, so Neko gets the kill on unsuspecting Nyx Assassin, taking advantage of the trees nearby. And now with the Dream Coil from Laurel, who decided to join in here, they broke that static link immediately.
Damage-nya banyak anjir.
Now with the Shackles, they make sure he can't go anywhere. His infused range drops will be wasted and killed as Seb, the last victim of this engagement. They want the kill, and with the Hex, they'll guarantee it. OG lose 3 down bottom.
Yeah, and BZM, he TPs back to the mid lane, right? That's just a deny, quote unquote, by Saneko. But BZM, he TPs back to mid lane, so Betboom, they make that perfect play because they know BZM, he has to go back to his remnant mid. There's no way he can fight them back bottom. That's the result of getting the Arcane Rune. Like, these small things, securing Rune gets you a triple kill in the bottom lane. Now you continue to hamper Amari's game that OG like to play around. It's these small things really make a difference, and I think this comes from the fact that you get such a good matchup in your off lane. Skywrath Mage has been gone from that lane for about 3 or 4 minutes now, and Novus is still farming very well.
Yeah, he got an early game lead, right? He got enough items. He went for the phase boots and also the single bracer, which allows you to put a lot more pressure into the Wraith King. And notice, thinking of the pressure, he's just one side from level 6, trying to get it. Due to the cliff there, they stop him out so clever here.
6 XP. 6
Kurang level 6 anjir.
They glyphed the creep just so they can get one point by Betboom. They definitely made that call.
What a play.
Well done, Notice.
Yeah, very, very well done. I think they knew Seb was going to rotate mid to refill the bottle, as he did, and Laurel's is going to secure the next power rune, Invis, for him. He's going to activate and TP back bottom where there is action.
They're going to find Amar once again. No Shackle, such a nuisance, already level 3. He's going to stay there forever. Laurel is just going to body block.
He body block.
Could he rotate mid for this?
That's a +1. He was scouted down bottom, though, because of the sentry.
Yep.
And so it would be a bit of a challenge here to try and
There's also no boots on Laurel, so it takes forever to make it mid. They snipe his courier. Nyx is nearby. A Taiga. Okay, he'll see where the puck is more or less. There we go.
Thanks to the courier kind of giving you like a sonar ping, basically, of information. But that is now going to be Amar's 3rd death of the game as they drop the snakes on bottom. Close to level 6. As the fortify is going to be used, Amar trying to nuke 3 points here in the plasma field makes it pretty easy. It's Taiga. It's going to show up for the stun on a Saneko. Here's BZM with the rotation as well. Searing Chains, just level 1 here, not enough for the kill. Saneko thinking about turning.
Whoa, what the coil?
Shackle's trying to outheal
the damage. Tapi katanya nggak cukup damage.
Once, twice, the bells ring
Oh,
for
cukup ya.
Amar.
Cukup sih cuma ke Amar tapi. Tapi ada langit.
Taiga with a nice silence. There's going to be an impale ready once he's not.
Aduh, ada langit ya.
He will make it up to the cliff. But it's still Betboom getting the better of these engagements, as that's Amar dying basically 3 times in the last 2 minutes, it feels like.
Yeah, we did talk about Nyx being like really good at bursting on heroes like Skywrath Mage or Shaman, right? But when you have the lead, when you have the initiation, both of these heroes do have a no damage disable, right? In the silence of the Skywrath Mage and in the Hex for the Shaman. And by doing those, Nyx can't really do much in team fights. As long as they have vision, as long as they can determine when to fight, you're kind of just a walking ward.
Yep. And speaking of wards, the
there we go. See, Hex shackles again, but he shackled the Nyx a little bit too
What
late.
the fuck? Aku kok krungu suarane hookshot anjir.
Oh right, so the top tower was taken. Servant wards didn't get that tower, so it's at least a little bit of a win there for OG. As Seb is gonna die here. He does at least secure space for BZM to get the haste from bottom.
Haste BZM kena kill lagi pakai.
Guaranteed, and even commits the remnant to guarantee it.
Larli siapa nih Karl anjir.
Will die, which is kind of a big deal for OG. They needed, to be honest, despite all the kills that Betboom are getting, they're still maintaining farm, especially on BZM, who's leading this. So it doesn't actually look that bad for them. It does seem like they're being run over, which is true, but objectives haven't been taken yet. The Visage hasn't really popped off just yet, and it's just a bunch of kills on Amar, which, as I said in the beginning, is probably going to be sacrificed this game. They know he's not going to have a good game. In fact, he understands this too, and he's going for a Midas.
Midas, Amar Midas.
I agree with it this time around. I think that's kind of natural given the state of his game, making sure he can at least get his BKB on the rest of his items with reasonable timing. He can't be expected this time around with a Wraith King and an Ember to be given the luxury of space and
Smoke.
farm. Normally, Amar nwins his lane and then
Cuma nge-ward sih.
oh, I can't draw on the map.
Iya,
So
nge-ward.
farms in like this area for a couple of minutes to get his items. That's not the case this time around. His game has been very difficult so far. As the serpent wards are dropped mid, that'll rotate some OG heroes over.
Semisal kalau misal bad boom
I
kayak
believe Amar scouts him, however.
punya vision, musuhnya punya vision OG kayak jauh kayak gini, mereka sebenarnya bisa kayak smoke
Around the map as well.
silently Roshan pakai shaman sama visage, matinya cepet.
Warrior on the high grounds, not going to see anything, of course. Laurel still covered by the smoke with Blitz Knuckles and the ulti ready to play with. But OG not having that tier 1 bot lane are going to go ahead and just back off.
Yeah. When you
Tapi-
tier 1 bot,
tapi
you
Yuragi
they take
farmingnya
tier 1 bot, turn it
lumayan.
off in the triangle as a result, but it's just really difficult to do it early. Despite the fact they had a ward here, it still is a dangerous place to go into the high ground, right? Vision or not, because of the the way that you funnel into that area. And OG knows this, which is why they're protecting bot so much.
Wow,
Spike
what a
comes,
spike karapis anjir.
with the familiars, that's not going to be sufficient, so Nico will die. And
The worst feeling ever jadi Shaman King di saat 3 langsung kena spike
Yeah,
karapis.
so that's a smoke. Not really quite going the way here of Bet Boom. The thing with Mars is that depending on his
better
lane,
Sky
he's
now.
not the slowest blink buyer, but 13-minute blink is completely average for the hero. Pretty small, pretty big actually standard deviation because he does go mid sometimes, so it can differ wildly. Stats not super accurate, but for off lane Mars, it is quite average timing. He's not really going to be able to join the fights before the blink dagger, and getting farm for him top lane with his tower gone is a bit dangerous. So Force Major.
Tapi
is
kayaknya
currently top,
emang
kind of
bukan
babysitting
masa
to
enggak,
make sure,
memang tergantung
they're
draftnya
not
sih.
gonna look for a kill
Tapi
bot.
rasanya
Iya.
And that means he's not
rasanya
going to make plays bot
sudah
lane, for
enggak
example. So
enggak
OG making very
masanya.
good use of the space he create top.
Asli pos 4 rasanya sekarang itu kayak bener mirip banget dengan pos 5 anjir.
To get the last hit top and equalize tower pressure.
Bahkan pos 5 yang lebih mirip pos 4 aja. Wong 5 aku bilang mid.
Both safe lane towers
Ya itu kalau
are
kalau
gone,
dibutuhkan
lane towers are gone, and it's really
sebenarnya.
only mid is
Kalau misal
the
kayak
option
kalah
to
hero gitu
with
tetap
the,
juga
with
rotate
the
gitu.
familiars. You might
Yeah.
end up
Prioritasnya
losing them
tetap
here.
pos 4 yang
I think
rotate, tapi
it's worth
ya
being
kadang
a
kalau
tower
misal
because
carry-nya
you
bisa
can't
independent
see those
farming
immediately
sendiri ya.
Independent farming.
Resummons them before they can get the gold.
Siapa jenis Vivin?
It's pretty crucial.
Independent woman.
Oh kan, oh Roshan.
We talked about
Ih.
Roche. I guess that's the advantage of
Dan
the
Aiko?
Shaman, right? With Visage is not that big a deal.
Yeah,
But
well, I think it's
Ini fast rush
Wait,
ini.
is he inside? No, he's not. They
Oh, yeah.
scouted Taiga coming out from
Asli,
Vendetta,
rasanya
so that does
sama.
make the initiation
Shaman-
Pas banget.
OG, like I said.
Soalnya
it's really just
damage
Ember
type.
that can put the price
DLC
inside the
nggak?
bed. I mean, it's going
Damage
down so
type.
fast.
especially with Zamar when
Damage type-nya apa?
Lali aku. Oh, enggak normal. Oh piercing.
just run into the pit and
BB?
try to contest this. I
Piercing,
still think that would've been a
piercing.
mistake.
Jadi piercing kan dia 100 berapa puluh persen versus creep.
This team, Bepum is actually a team
Makanya
that
makannya
with their
bahkan
they give
save
it just
apa
they give it to the offense
camp
main
small
more
camp
carry,
small camp
especially the first
small
game.
camp
Huh?
itu
Really understand. The
kalau
first thing is fight.
kalau hardcamnya bukan troll itu lebih cepat ngabisin creep wave daripada hardcam. Soalnya ya damage type itu juga. Kecuali kalau misal hardcamnya itu troll, baru dia ngabisinnya jauh lebih cepat. Memang hardcam health-nya damage-nya banyak, tapi kayak nggak cepet matiin creepnya.
Seb is starting to stockpile the money. Again, this hero Wyvern can farm a social
Kalau
max
misal
into build.
small
So
camp-nya
Blink
itu
Dagger
dapat
is gonna be
harpy,
slow, but
anjir. Terus
Tuh, aku kok
for
nge-lag
about
banget.
20 minutes on the hero.
nge-lag banget.
Yeah, the problem is I think
No, enggak, ini lah, aku Clash
Royale
Royale ku nge-lag anjir.
Anjir.
Oke, sorry.
Oh,
just to make sure.
That's
EU style, right? Just kill him. Just kill him.
sick.
so hurt.
Just kill him, because honestly, even that one death might
Anjir,
be enough
Razor
for him to
Midas,
get
Razor
forward and make
Midas.
the push. It looks like Pep Boom not really
Tapi
looking
berarti
for
kalau misalnya Midas,
It's tough
OG
because you know there's the window
is
out
aiming
there,
to
and
fight
this
very
window
very
is
late
the
tuh, like
secondary dead lane where
kalau
you
misal
push it
di
out
kondisi biasa loh, Razor udah bisa dapat item gede aja satu.
Ya biasanya kalau
Minimal. GB lah minimal.
kalau Angel main Razor sekarang udah punya BKB.
Iya makanya. Jadi kayak dicari bener-bener item yang bener-bener bakal fight late. Iya.
Tapi secara scaling bagusan OG sih. Kalau misal mau main
Iya. Menurutku ini another setting ya. Kita lihat lah. Jujur-jujuran ya lo. Misal ono V-set sih, V-set di ulti karo Winter Wyvern aja mati gak sih anjir?
Oh, multi V-set-nya. Ya,
Iya,
bisa.
Very good target buat ulti.
Ya, salah satunya juga ada Winter Wyvern. Damage-nya Bad Boom mixed sih, tapi Magicnya juga banyak.
Probably when it falls, and then a big item on the Hawk, which is the AC, we'll see some more aggressive smoke by Bepboom.
Yeah, that's Bepboom's timing. Right now, they're quite happy to just farm and play this kind of kill squad duo, right? There's a lot of potential here between Force Major and Noticed. OGs certainly are respecting that, right? That's why Taiga is doing well to keep his distance. He's gonna go for a little bit of an adventure, set up a little bit of vision here. Really, he'd ideally like to find Force Major. That's a much easier kill. Notice will blink back, doesn't want to farm this wave out this far. For good reason. He knows that BZM and the rest of OG likely lurking in the jungle.
Nyx feels apa ya? Secara konsep itu underrated tapi feels underwhelming. Asli. Aku terus Nyx rasanya gak win anjir.
Kali lanjut tidak enak.
Kayak soalnya oh ya
Nixi kok kayak
11-12 kayak Vengi lah. Kayak Vengi, kayak Earthshaker, kayak Earthspirit.
Anjir, Earthshaker saya enak deh.
Iya sih, lebih enak lah. Ya lebih mirip Vengi lah. Shaman King. Oh, tapi ada Mar. Tapi gak ada PKB sih. Red King mati kayaknya. Heal? Tidak ada heal. Oh, silence di belakang.
Nice banget.
Anjir, bedun. Anjir.
Fair sneaky sap.
Bukannya no blink lah. Langsung di ulti bisa.
Maybe OG thinking that Bepboom were gonna stick around for the tier 2 tower push. That's very typical of the first Aegis usage, isn't it? But again, Bepboom don't play very typical Dota.
And they just don't play like that with the first Aegis. It's really
Don't play very typical Dota. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Increased.
Exactly.
Why? Because now OG
That's why.
is forced to farm in much more precarious positions. No longer can you go into your jungle and feel
kayaknya
safe. They've actually sentryed their own jungle just to make sure there's no aggressive wards.
Kayaknya tim-tim ini ketemu
because they know it's going to be dewarded most likely in the next incursion by Bepboom. And this is where the map control starts to fall for OG. And this is where they desperately try to farm those big items.
V-sets. Why V-sets so good?
Core items
for now.
Soalnya udah banyak yang nggak main jadi lupa caranya ngatasi. Aku lebih anehnya itu kenapa Medusa nggak terlalu di-pick.
Kalian udah overuse gak sih sama Scream mungkin kayak wes analisisnya nggak itu?
Mungkin ya, mungkin masuk akal kalau itu.
What?
Ya berarti totally kebalikannya dari itu aja. Totally kebalikannya dari
BZM. Ini bisa kena catch loh, ada.
Iyo. Ih ketahuan itu. Wih, Lis.
Spear.
Ini belum ada.
Spear putus, so tidak perlu spear putus.
Aduh.
Yep. That's pick off after pick off. The net worth lead not too bad though, really.
Aku OG fan kayak tapi aku suka nonton V-sets.
Which means the Hawk is going to be more eager to join.
Looking
for a fight around
the boleh.
Continue taking these lopsided fights. It's going to make it more and more difficult for Seb to be able to initiate here. But he has got Blink, so this could be the moment. But for now, it's Taiga in trouble underneath the tier 2 tower as they commit the wards again. So once again, just
anjir, iku koyo ne Angel petok singa atau party kita in general. Iku Nggak spear gak sengaja gitu.
The BKB immediately from Noticed. He goes into the
Sep.
trees, they'll throw Soneko into the fire.
Ulti?
Get away from
Ulti?
it, apparently.
Tidak bisa, Hexnya terlalu lama anjir, Hexnya level 4. Hexnya level 4.
Jadi healing aku ada gitu loh.
Loh, jangan menyalahkan pertimbangan samaan King anjir. Pertimbangan samaan King terhadap samaan selalu benar.
Iku sing ngerajani saman sa Indonesia lah ngawurmu. Aduh, semoga ketemu gak ya? Bisa ketemu loh iku.
Bisa ketemu tapi kayaknya kebaca deh Bad Boom. Kenapa gak ada yang muncul?
Mars no BKB for another 25, so Bet Boom not really too keen on finding fights.
Kenapa nggak ada yang muncul? Mars nggak ada BKB.
Well, it's actually a really nice play by OG to smoke because usually teams will just wait for that BKB on no, I was to say for the BKB on Ember because he's about to buy it.
Aku tempting anjir main Visage anjir. Visage gak perlu BKB.
Awkwardish timing, and that means that now they're gonna hit a bunch of timings and they're gonna be the stronger team and they take away map control from Bet Boom, hopefully amplifying the OG farm. And you can already see a little bit of that effect by the 2K gold lead being reduced to 1K. That's the effect of the smoke from OG.
And speaking about gold, the benefit of Force Major playing this hero with an enabler that's the Mars.
Anjir, Sky ini langsung
a little bit of luck for sure. He's got a blink dagger himself. 4 blinks right now on that boom.
And there's the stronger
DD.
timing.
There's a DD in the river. Notice has to pick this one up, but he might die for it.
Tapi gak ada instant stun.
Notice gets away.
OG nggak punya saman.
Immediately on the BKB on Ember and the Desolator on Wraithing, they'd have to fight. Bet Boom can't keep avoiding
OG
them right
instant stunnya cuma ultinya Sep anjir.
really skirmish game.
Yeah, and they're underneath this ward. They've got a really good vision here in the lane. They've got the Tinker ward set up as well, the Hawk as well, with great vision with the wingmen. And OG not keen to fight in that top area. They don't see anyone pushing mid or bottom. It's a little sus as Laura will finally show in the bottom lane to clear the wave.
Aku melihat game pro player kayak gini terus berkaca pada game PUB
Kita
3000 MMR.
sangat-sangat belakang.
Lihat kayak mereka sembunyi-sembunyi. Enggak di chain anjir. Tapi gambling.
Anjir.
That's a good point actually. Never thought of checking that. That's clever.
Pro player bener-bener informasi nggak ada yang terlalu show. Kalau kita main di 3000 MMR, 3 lane di sisi musuh diisi teammate semua gitu kan, dibuat farming lane-nya, terus tiba-tiba mati 1, mati 2 gitu kan. Oh, so bad.
Oh, iku Fortunate iku baca vision ketemu Amar langsung iku. Tapi iki free Roshan.
Ini the power of summon anjir. Jadi ya semua hero dengan instansi sih. Kalau misal nggak terlalu punya farm, itu blink duluan, jangan Aether lane.
Oh, Taiga ketahuan. Silence. Lulu. Wow. Yuragi. Please.
Kena sama King. Yuragi. Narek daksak main yang jero Roshan Pit. Tapi breaking nggak ada.
Sumpah Taiga itu recordnya kalau dikasih hero yang bukan setter tuh jelek banget tuh.
Tapi nggak itu hero setter.
Tapi nggak Rattle Trap Clock Warrior nggak kayak gitu aja. Maksudnya recordnya jauh lebih bagus di hero-hero kayak gitu. And even
ya sebenarnya konsepnya oke sih, Nyx sebagai kayak combo landing sama Razor.
this opening as well. So these team fights is not easy.
Woi.
And when they fight this Roche, yes, you can fight
Bang nanti main bang.
but because you're the aggressor, the
Ya,
moment
Bang,
that
nanti
OG
main,
has
Bang.
the high ground, it's broken. And that's actually why you
Bang, nanti main ya, Bang.
Ya, Bang,
They needed the
Bang.
high ground vision, but OG was ready to punish that. Really good movements in general. The positioning by OG has been fantastic here.
And basically a perfect opening kill. Obviously, they don't know that Amar doesn't have buyback, but the fact that he can't makes this fight feel really desperate for
True,
OG. Seb
true.
has to buy back.
Aduh.
That puts him really
Snaky,
far
Roshan?
behind, as they will go into Roche.
Sneak it. Again, the familiars do have the
Asli. Oh, anjir. Wow, buanter aja Rosani anjir. Wow.
Familiars minus armor, yes. Laura will get that
he's
second
stuck.
Aegis. He'll be free in a second.
Aku,
He's got
ya,
Blink, and it's
aku
gonna be
bener-bener
Hawk
pengen
up the shot.
anjir
Allows you
fidget
to give an
build
active
iki
to
seru
your
anjir.
cloak, and it's gives us a stun and a stone form and 35% HP recovery. Okay, top lane.
Woo!
The Tinker Ward pays off. They get Taiga.
Ya iso untuk mana
And
kan?
now, of course, there's a Tinker Ward there.
Tinker Ward.
As Force Mage. Oh no, it was Dire Tinker. Oh, he just dewarded. That's why.
He
Okay, just
dewarded it, yep, and unfortunately that was a ward that could have given OG, pardon me,
OG
a
sama
window
dengan
back
Green
into
Beef.
this game, right?
Yep.
Getting a fight off of a unexpected ward
Ya,
potentially here.
Taiga.
Could have been the
Aku
moment.
Huge deal.
kok
because
setiap
Nyx
kali
is
OG ngambil Razor Nyx rasanya kayak cenderung kalah anjir.
Solo. So one of the tough things there, you have to waste the ward. As
Menurutku
I'm pretty sure you can put a sentry in the
butuh
high ground,
masalahnya Nyx nggak tanky anjir buat front line
gives you vision
stun.
of this weird high ground.
Yeah, it
Itu
does,
yang
yeah.
nggak enak.
Yeah, you can.
He chose not to because it's difficult to know where the ward is.
Razer juga bukan frontline yang bagus kalau musuh magic damage kebanyakan kayak gini.
No, it's true.
Kayak-
I mean, then everything comes together. The problem is Betboom haven't given the prime opportunity, and this was my concern. They've always excelled at spacing and approaching
Razor
these team fights
sebenarnya
from
nggak
very
terlalu
awkward
punya
angles.
banyak,
It's
ya,
not a traditional
armornya
team fight
oke,
in the
tapi
way
kayak
that
nggak
they kind of
banyak
line
banget
up
juga.
and go in on a smoke. Laurel's always like somewhere behind. Notice is always making sure to jump the counter initiation. I mean, I would wager that this Mars damage after 10 minutes has mostly been onto Wyvern in these team fights.
You're right, actually. I think they understand very well. I also Soneko being like a secondary initiator has given a lot of liberty to the Mars, right? Because it's his
T1
hex.
versus Tundra dan already. Siapa sih
There
menang?
you go. Yeah, talking about it. It's the Hex that starts the fight. It just annoys the
T1
Wraith.
Tundra menang jadi.
They do have high ground advantage, so they
Anjir,
assume
kok cepet.
Maksud kok
and they
menang
press
Mari.
this high ground advantage on Betboom, but they know they also can't take this fight near the enemy high ground.
His remnants about
Anna
to-
joins
Actually,
TNC
it's
cegal
fine. He's
di.
gonna have to TP out.
Oh,
Aha.
he
Yeah.
was positioned by killing the creep stream.
Laurel.
Goals
Chatnya di
available.
Didn't see him. They
Twitch.
just missed him.
Apa?
That could have been a really scary moment. I mean, worst case it's BKB and leave.
Coba join
but
TNC.
his luck is not 25
Anna.
yet, but
tapi ya di stream satu nggak mesti bener.
The Hawk does have the axe, by the way.
Yo iso aja anjir.
Ya
With the stone
bisa.
form, so you
wow.
got this
Doesn't always go for it. Doesn't always go for it.
Gak ada nih round lane.
AC build, right? With the AC, usually
Aku
you
dukung
also see-
TNC lah no saya lah misalnya anda main mana
You
lah.
have tower push, aim
What the-
vision.
Aduh nanti
And
manasnya
again, I
sama
think this has a
kayak
lot to do with the fact that curse
Ichi.
is really what you're scared
Tapi
of.
Ichi tapi TNC nggak punya bulba sih.
Wherever you place
Nggak
it to make it
tapi
so
beda
much
lah.
easier as they see Seb. A good blink out in time, but Amar is
Oof.
going to be caught
Heal?
behind and pushed inside the Serpent Wards. They need a little bit more follow-up
Ya,
damage. And
aduh,
Laurel there to silence
saya-
Seb immediately
oh,
traps inside the arena,
asli.
but they can't quite
Tapi
kill him, so he's going to go inside the cold embrace as Amar
dapat
is
satu.
alive. He's going to be able to get to
Sana ikut
the
tak lebih aja.
Oh, Seb.
dies to the right click.
Masih sempet soal assumption, Yuragi masih ada.
Goes back in, he's hoping
Oh, langsung
Yuragi
satu berubah.
jam ke depan.
Kill satu.
Oh, burst damage-nya. Pakai so assumption ditambah ini anjir.
Managed to kill off Yuragi. He loses his first life. Notice is still alive. Another chasing after him. The Hawk is willing to go and
Yes.
Laurel as well, who face shifts
Gila, cowok damage-nya.
waning rift. And OG, they
Aduh.
played that really well, honestly, because they thought we have counter initiation, we have to force them into a weak, a wild engagement. But of course, the Aegis made the difference there, and Laurel was capable of essentially playing as team
Damn.
fight and winning it for the team.
I mean, it's a costly push, and you can see how I think this line here under Seb, it just kind of shows how stressful this game is
That's
for him. A
how-
lot of the team fights hinge on him, but
Yeah,
Betboom,
Seb-
they have 4 blink
Seb
daggers and the
butuh
puck. They're
item
always on
juga,
top of
anjir.
him. He has no
Let's
room
see,
to
support-supportnya juga
breathe,
butuh item,
especially
soalnya
when the
kalau
fights
misal
start
Seb-
off by them getting vision. I
Tapi
think.
masalahnya
These
banyak
fights
item
feel
buat
so
kayak
impossible
save
to
sama
Betboom, they
mobility
definitely
anjir
recognize
kayak
the
kena
strengths.
pak gitu
This
aja
is
udah
after
nggak
the
ngapa-ngapain.
initiation,
Iya,
of course,
minimal
where you get the second life and a great start for
minimal
Laurel.
Glimmer. Wes dulu dah.
Minimal Glimmer.
Yeah,
Kayaknya
certainly
belum.
fighting head on, and this is not the play you want to make. Soneko came to help him.
What?
With a
Dapat
force
dapat
major
catch
as well. They're just
Taiga?
leading people here. Soneko has the essence
Taiga
of
selalu
it.
so good.
But it will eventually fall.
Wow. Wow, damage-nya anjir.
That's nice. Ayo langit.
Gimana Bang? Aduh, sayang sekali lihat gimana.
Actually, I believe they buffed him.
Gitu loh. Kalau kita lihat.
That'd be that buff coming into
Mana
play.
pernah cek kurang mas level anjir.
But they're dead.
Loran mana pernah di mata aku.
Incredibly for OG, they're not in the Roche
Iya sih.
window. This would have been a perfect comeback moment for them if Roche was going to be up in this next
Aduh,
minute.
Bad Boom
Unfortunately, it's
nge-throw.
going to be at least another 3 until we know. But
Ini
it does
membuka
allow OG
harapan
to
tuh
at least
Oji
get some
anjir.
wards up,
Bad Boom
get a little
skillingnya
bit
nggak
more breathing
nggak
room,
terlalu
reset here. The
nggak
net
sebagus
lead is
Oji soalnya
not
kalau
that
bisa
dire. It's
nyeret
only
gamenya
4K.
Oji.
The fights can be even. It's been Vision making the big difference so far.
Exactly, and the lack of initiation on OG, which we talked about in the beginning, right? They just can't set up fights easily, so they have to constantly bait Amar. And there's a really, really fine line between baiting and managing to get a good fight, and you're throwing the beginning, right?
Smoke.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a tough game for
Hero
Amar, and I
advantage
think the
pas
stat
belum
that's going to
hidup.
highlight that is that he had a decent, a slower timing, right, below average timing on BKB because his lane was hard, but he still had it around, I don't know, 22 minutes. That was the first fight he used it in 29 minutes.
Yes.
His first usage of BKB. It's not because they weren't looking for fights; it was just hard.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't really initiate because you can only run at them. That's your initiation, essentially. Eventually, though, this is a little bit fixed by the itemization in the MA team, and they'll get more items, and also Wraith King can just jump in, right? That's going to be the play eventually for OG. As BZM does also get the Ags a little bit more mobility for him.
There's a
Oh,
gem
jadi ward
for
visage.
OG.
Yeah, it's on BZM.
And the Hawk as well is eyeing one, and he has one.
Yeah, he put it in his eye. Both but the supports, though, you can actually check.
Oh, can you do that now? That's
It
amazing.
says owned by
Beautiful,
Sabeko.
beautiful.
And then for the BZM one, it's owned by Seb.
So Seb really
Own Sim.
Oh, punya Blink winner.
puts all of his money here into the Gem of True Sight. Of course, with the Blink Dagger, that's ideally all he needs.
It's like Dota marriage, really. When you give someone the gem.
So normally what we see Wyverns like to do, especially when they're not hard countered by like a Spectre, a Storm, or an NP, is like
Playstyle is up.
way over here.
Item build-nya terlalu iku sih. Offensive bener katamu.
Silent as the grave, there's Puck with
Blink main.
Oh, itu
There's
anjir.
just so much things that he's
Kalau maksudnya kalau misal
here.
udah punya Blink, kayaknya tadi
I
belum punya
really
Blink.
think
Kalau misal
once we
punya
finally
Blink,
see a good Winter's Curse from Seb,
nggak perlu terlalu dekat
together.
dengan tim. Aku misal kalau
Well, the problem is not so
main
much
Oracle,
finding it,
main
it's
gitu
first.
juga ketemu Puck, ketemu Ember, ketemu Void gitu, aku juga beli Blink. Jadi kayak bisa jauh di belakang tapi agak jauh. Nge-blink itu masih bisa sampai gitu.
I mean, have we even seen
Dibandingkan dengan Aetherlens kayak istilahnya cuma support 240-280 range. Kalau misal Blink secara logika sih support 1300 bonus range gitu. Nggak sepenuhnya ofensif tapi ada potensial ofensifnya juga gitu.
Iya sih.
Great item here for him. Silence as the grave, of course, he's invis. And BZM wants to do with this potential bug.
saving curse for TI.
Any other key items I'm missing here on BKB?
Tapi nggak ada follow up.
Count that one.
Kok panjang? Wes sih wes apa namanya?
Taiga cuma poking manja.
He is going for his own refresher. Maybe that's a key
Anjir lah.
Double BKB is huge. Again, especially if you're the baiter, what happens is if you manage to into the fight,
for stuff dah.
and then you have a second BKB for the fight, that refresher is going to make a huge
Doubling things. Skyrath
Skyrath Aganim.
actually nearing completion.
That's pretty great. Actually, that could be
Yeah,
also close to
it's
level 15,
pretty
which
good.
I would like to see Ancient Seal cooldown, because that's to 6 seconds. It's huge.
And here's the Roche window. OG very eager. They know that this is their ticket back into the game.
Kenapa Sky Pro player nggak pakai Rod of Atas? Karena koordinasi yang cukup dan stunnya cukup. Sebenarnya Pop kayak bikin Rod of Atas gitu kan supaya punya solo kill potensial. Karena kita mainnya sendiri-sendiri. Tapi kalau misal nggak main sendiri-sendiri tidak efisien. Itu yang susah.
There's a lot of bugs too, like Nyx.
Yes, or familiars. Flying bugs, right? They're more like
they're gargoyles actually.
Gargoyles are bugs, right? That's where they come from. They're biblical bugs.
Sure. Smoke.
Iki apaan sih chat Twitch anjir?
Stagnated around 4K.
Apa?
Everyone in this chat can wear a hat.
Boosted by the familiar move speed on 20. Taiga is a prime hero to break these smokes with the jump.
Amar dijawab, nice BKB that fast. Oh, Hex ke arah Yuragi. Di belakang. Anjir BZM, YOLO langsung ke backline. Kena Soneko, that's big target anjir.
Tim fight.
Wow, what a damage dari Visage.
Iya,
Taiga melting. Wow.
Mas bisa.
Tapi gak ada stun, gak ada stun follow up ke arah Pak.
Minggamal jem. Lagi.
Masih punya BKB.
Anjir. Gas. Balik. Udah gak ada BKB. Yuragi.
Wow, that's so medeni anjir. Set ngebring ke depan.
Anjing.
Aduh, stun. Wow, Lincoln break-nya anjir.
Anjing, that's solid.
Lar nge-throw, let's go.
Too much to guys. Roshan anjing.
Damage, but they were missing the auras, they were missing the right clicks. He couldn't
Nafsu banget pengen bunuh Sep aja, what the fuck.
Sep memang Mr. TI winner, gak usah dikejar-kejar anjir. Tapi live. Ngejar. Stun dari Yuragi ke arah Razor. Apakah bisa nge-kill? Tapi Visage dia punya shard.
Roshan to big, Roshan ketiga soal ini anjing.
Aduh, berarti nggak punya BKB.
Ada habis ini. Ayo BKB bisa.
31 detik cooldownnya. Aja. Sep. Belum menang sudah ngetip, langsung titip balik.
Awas kon. Aduh, Roshan 3 gak sih anjir? Double dream coil.
Enggak, itu Aghanim. Aghanim for who?
Anjir.
Yeah, it's okay. If you really need to push, right? But I don't think it's amazing. I do like the puck apps, though.
Got a remnant.
Ember.
Giving chase, knows he's in the area. They see each other. The silence fine.
Silence BKB masih di save. Masih bisa lari aja.
Masih bisa lari punya.
Oh nice.
He's level 25 though, so now no longer can you do the BKB and
bonus pancake aja.
So he's playing around the coil timing much more now. BCM will have to be careful with that, but Bedboom. I mean, I think OG got a pretty good advantage.
Anjir. Itu tadi fight di Roshan kekat shardnya Visage. Underrated soalnya shardnya Visage.
With Notice leading the charge much more than Soneko. We're seeing less aggressive blink hexes, and Soneko is just kind of staying in between the fight. So you're actually forcing OG to overcommit. Also, his hex on Wraithing in the beginning of the fight every single time makes that reincarnation not so useful because you just get ignored for a while.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun.
Itu Laro kalau dia nge-skill 2 kelihatan loh Taiga. Soalnya ada Aghanim.
Fortunately for him, of course, Laura's not the one carrying the gem.
Oh, okay.
Top Force Major is clearing a couple waves.
Kok Aghanimnya reveal invisible unit ya?
Kayak shardnya pakai yang lama. Jadi Aghanim sekarang. Tapi tambah ombo, tapi gak nambah damage anjir.
BKB. So big. That's big.
That's big for Bedboom.
So they're able to make that play, at least some intel from this Nyx pick. Soneko closing in on the BKB. They might look for Taiga, but I imagine he TPs here rather quickly, especially once he sees Soneko in the lane. The blink, there we go. Taiga did scout that. He saw the particle.
Langit.
Out for Taiga. Mystic Flare is available.
Aduh.
Ready. I think they just
Nyx.
Aduh.
Enggak ngerti nar.
He's just there for -5 armor. Take it.
Main sih tapi anjir. Iso ngulur beberapa detik tapi 3 lane di push posisi sebelum nge-push. Apakah cukup? Aikisnya berapa detik?
Iku jopo.
Yes, I think it's fine.
Iku jopo cooldown silence gak sih iku?
Iyo.
That's gonna give you a little bit more initiation here now. Double hex. And also what this does is Shaman has wasted his hex or not.
Double skill si cukup ya John pas ini.
Ya bener.
A bit of a difficulty now, as
Enggak,
Tapi masih kok
Biyen itu ancene orang juga kabeh global konsumsi
to lose cosmetic, honestly.
sailingku sih.
It's like two different
itu
animations.
sing
I'm pretty sure.
20 nih 15
But in the middle of a fight, it's kind of difficult to notice. You just think hex, right? You know,
tapi Chan dhisik durung
It's not something
rame
I
sih
noticed, to be honest, but
sing gawe
I'm really
medok
curious. I'm gonna test that in between games. The Hawk up to the high ground here, where Sep does have vision. He's got things and wards ready to scout. He's not making this mistake twice. They did catch him last time in a pretty good fight. Even disassembling the arcanes, by the way, to go for the eighth ones, just to increase his cast range.
Beneran ofensif Paul, terlalu ofensif menurutku bahkan.
Wow, ulti ke arah visage, tapi apakah ada additional stun? Tapi nggak ada additional stun, nggak bakal mati loh Daksaknya ini anjir. Jam yang sia-sia. Wow, double.
wah gede
Sayang banget ada JC. Nice, Amar dapat kill, Daksak mati. Sep. Nice.
Oh, Mars nggak punya buyback.
Not sure either. Still have that second line.
Makanya itu gede loh.
By the looks of things here on the Mars. As Laurel
Wow.
blank, that's the first life.
Tapi ada Aegis.
As the both will be
Oh, tapi Taiga, wow, stunnya pas anjir.
Nice. Itu timingnya beneran angel loh. Passing.
BZM ke belakang, tapi ada Hex. Tapi apakah ada additional stun? Wow, langsung ditambah stun dari Yuragi.
Anjing Yuragi, stun connect, Daksak mati.
Tapi Daksak dia punya shard.
Mati sih, mati.
Wow, anjir, itu jamnya dikasih ke kurir gak sih? Anjir, wes siap kurir anjir.
Respawn with Aegis, there is no time to actually use the as long as the impale's already in the air. And that's what we saw there for the puck.
Oh enggak sih. Telat jamnya diambil sama BCM. Wow, ada turn around dari OG anjir. Multiple no buyback, what the fuck?
Isoan, iki isoan, sumpah iki isoan.
Iya iki MC iki. OG, memang OG always win seperti judul stream.
OG.
Tidak ada stun, Ember nggak peduli. Ada buyback, ada ulti, Interscratch di situ. Tidak ada yang lain, tidak ada teammate. GG.
goodbye
wow.
So good. Amar with the
Midas paying off.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Sep has that 1-2 really fantastic.
Ternyata Amar model sekarang
for
berpindah.
OG. It was really just Bet Boom using their vision, using their mobility, and making sure that Seb was completely cancelled. Without that, it wasn't easy for Bet Boom, was it? Really
Match winner Evil Geniuses.
exacerbating the lack of control.
Tapi tiebreaker.
Enggak, baru game pertama.
Anyway, nek seri ae wis
Nek seri loh, baru tiebreaker.
enggak.
Oh iya, seri langsung goodbye. Seri langsung goodbye.
Senyum.
Oh, Iwan kalah.
Iya, Tiwan kalah anjir.
Kita no hero andalan pisan Iwan Dung.
Guys, Tiwan, Stellar Bracket, bro.
Doom Tiwan.
Tim sing paling konsisten guys itu Mas. Apa permintaannya?
Tapi LE Doom iku kudu independen anjir. Nek Tundra maine banter rada suran. Phoenix mulai kembali ke meta. Tapi yang masuk akal itu gara-gara shardnya anjir.
Grimstroke has been making a comeback in this tournament. Like we've seen a good amount of Grim, and like I said, it was just the small quality of life changes that made this hero good. In my eyes, like hitting his stroke of fate is so much easier in lane now. It feels better, and it's also partially to do with like the meta right now.
Anjir aku teriak-teriak fuck.
Heroes being played.
Sama.
They enjoy having Grimstroke in the back, like helping them, you know, with Inkswell.
Banyak orang di sini kayaknya.
People together.
Sampai masih staycation atau sudah di gua?
Sudah di ini aja, sudah di gua aja. Enggak di gua sih, wong OG menang ngapain di gua aja.
Oh, udah upgrade ya.
But
Iya dong.
I haven't seen Phoenix being very impressive just yet.
OG
Oh my god.
It's not a 9 CM guys.
masih upper enggak?
It's a
Is it
white
Enggak,
one,
enggak.
Crystal Maiden.
Enggak mesti, enggak mesti.
Carl CM.
It's a white one.
Anjir.
Sorry,
Yang
guys.
No.
Cewek,
Yeah,
T1.
hand to Carl.
Pain.
Nanti sih.
Pain.
Iwan, Whitemon cewek.
Okay, besides that, I do like Crystal Maiden as a hero. I mean, I'm personally, I love this hero. And Whitemon is one of the best CMs out
Aku
there.
jarang-jarang
Shows
ngajarin
a lot of
CM
specialties.
pro player. Ya, aku pemainnya pro
And
player
I do
main
think
CM.
it's a pretty good hero against
Insania
Beastmaster
main
because
CM.
you can frostbite, you know, the
Ning
frostbite
turnamen?
the
Cash
or
queue.
if
Iya.
Beastmaster goes for Helm the Dominator. It also is pretty good in lane against the Beast, not just throughout the game. So
Insania guys yang rempek kayak nganggo apa AA ya?
also go for
Nganggo
Menang,
AA.
which is, you know, Carl's most famous hero, I want to say. So this to me is like T1 actually picking
Mixnya
some of their
sangat-sangat banget.
signature heroes.
Let's see now.
Fight. I mean, it's
Kita
interesting.
update
You've got
dulu.
The Indonesian
Bad Boom gue nama-namanya apa?
that's coming out with two of your favorite heroes here, and you're like, yeah, I like the lineup. It's like, of course, if I
Aku lupa aja.
how could you not?
Apa?
For sure.
Bad
for
Boom
sure.
tuh dulunya namanya siapa?
Supports a lot. But yeah, this is
Tim.
to me staple
Ini.
T1.
Atau
And on
baru
Sun
dah?
Tundra, we have
Winstrike,
the-
Winstrike,
Iya,
Winstrike.
I'm guessing this is kind of a response to Phoenix in a way.
Strike
where
padahal
you
sebelumnya
pretty
kayak
consistent
terkena
support
tier
lane against
2
Phoenix.
habis itu.
You have the, you know, your
Oke,
pretty
dan
good
Boom
health
sudah
and
dipastikan
the-
nih ya
and it's
berarti ya,
also this
lower bracket.
overwhelming physical damage that they have between Beast and Weaver.
Boom T1 satu sama. OG masih tanding lawan Bad Boom.
Armor items until later. He wants to get the Midas, the BKB.
Iki wis menang iku, ya wis berarti wis pasti OG upper bracket.
Oh, udah pasti.
Ketemu Tundra.
He's actually gonna die
Yeah.
fast to
Yes.
Weaver.
Mah, aku pengen Bioni Angel di RE. Aduh.
I mean, for the lane itself,
Mata
the
Discord
mana
tahu.
aura is great.
Oh iya.
It's just in the mid game, it becomes.
Agak kuat mendengar teriakan.
You want to get armor, but you also might need a blink.
Ada yang lower
So
bracket
it's basically
Chin.
Tundra is picking heroes that make it a little more complicated to play Doom. And I think
Bloodseeker.
that's a sign of good
Bloodseeker.
draft in a way. It's
Lihat apa? Sih.
make the players
Sekarang
who make
lagi
the hero have to think,
draftingnya
betul,
T1 Tundra.
to come up with a solution.
Dewan Tundra. Ya aku kono saya anjir masak sik dulu.
Sort of profit off the
Okay.
sort of
Proteinku kurang proteinku.
easy way to execute their draft.
Yeah, and we see this last pick, Bloodseeker. I'm fine with it because they do have a Doom offlane, so they don't need a a super hard carry. Exactly, they need to be able to win some of their lanes. And it is a good Bloodseeker game. It's good against Weaver. It's good against Void Spirit. I think it's a good lane against Beastmaster. And Tundra says like, hey, your guys are gonna lack damage at some point. We're gonna pick this Duza now because Tundra is thinking that T1 is all out there trying to win their safe lane. That we're gonna pick Duza and just go for the late game.
Interesting. So the dynamic that you're talking about there, I feel like is maybe a switch up of what we saw last game, where we had this like very great timing with the Visage running in, being strong with his Vlads, the AC, all that good stuff. Do you think that means that Tundra are going to try and play it a little bit more slow, or are they just going to look for the timing on Deuce with like Butterfly to end the game?
I think Tundra is still going to play fast because they do have a Beastmaster lineup, but this Duza is sort of the security measurement they have. Like if this game gets later, we're going to have this hero that is able to tank everything. So they're still going to want to get ahead early in the game, and then they want to be able to tank up on Duza and just be unkillable.
All right, tank up on Dusa, become unkillable, and 4T1, just kill him. Simple. Makes it easy.
That was some great analysis by me, but
What are you talking about?
no, I think they recognize that there's not like this insane scaling damage from T1, and that's what makes Duza good. But I will say that there's gonna be there's a weird flow in this game. Okay, so at a certain point, Tundra is gonna be way stronger. And then when it gets later and later, like we're talking ultra late game, if it gets to that, I do think T1 is actually going to be just because
Traitor
of their
Venom.
supports. and Doom Puck become like very scary when it
brackets.
comes, you know,
Over on the lower bracket though, we also have a little bit of a developing story, don't we?
So they need to wait on
Yeah,
Tundra
it seems
for
like
Medusa to be
Ichi won the
strong,
first game
but
against
not
Beast
so
Ghost.
late that T1 becomes undealable.
Exactly.
Which is also a word that exists.
Which is, which I think this makes this draft more interesting because, from my point of view, last game was like, I don't know, 70-30 type of draft, and this is way more even.
Support Doom ya.
I don't know for sure who's gonna win because I think I see a way for both teams to win.
Whoa.
So it really is about who's gonna execute better, you know, the plan that they have.
What patch is this? 33 going Quelling Blade only with the Helm of Iron Will to start.
Oh, he used to do this.
Has 33.
I think it was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah,
a lot of cards would just spam this first item, but yeah, it's okay. It's good.
It's just a departure from all the Ironwood branches we've been seeing, but I mean, I guess it's another one of those like things that kind of makes sense.
Slapping a Duza.
Getting in there, give him the punches. Why not?
Wait, one sec. Hold up. I just realized Kuku's playing Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a switch.
Huh.
That is a switch.
That's kind of odd, actually, because
does that change the sort of flow of the game that you were talking about?
It does, because I think Doom Core, like it has some vulnerability, right? We talked about the Beastmaster and the Weaver, this overwhelming physical damage, but I do think Doom becomes pretty strong later on, and I think it's a pretty okay lane against Medusa. You can kind of just sit there and farm. But Phoenix Core is it's different. It's definitely different.
Sad.
What did he say sad about?
Oh, I didn't
just
see.
all chatted. I don't know what happened there. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. Phoenix Core definitely changes things up a little bit. I'm curious to see how this plays out. And the lane I'm looking at the most for sure is going to be top lane. Because it's going to be a race of whether 33 can get to his Helm of Iron Will before getting basically burned down. But you can already see that they had this predetermined plan on how they were going to play this lane, where Saksa goes for the pool, and 33 is going to get his Helm for free after this. So he already did not get punished, actually. So good start for 33.
Damn, that's well played.
How many did he get of the first creep wave? He only got 2 last hits in the first creep wave, and he still is going to have enough to get the Helm of Iron Will. That's definitely one of those moments where it's like, okay, they did the math. How many creeps do I need out of the first 2 waves to be able to do it? And he went axes first to secure that he was getting those creeps.
Yeah, it's really important as well that he actually did not lose any HP in the process. So they're sitting, you know, happy in the top lane.
Yeah. It does have to be brought out. It's the lava. I lava you.
Okay. Bottom lane, let's see what creeps. Actually, it looks like he just ate a lane creep. He did not look for a neutral creep on the Doom.
Carl giving the tip to 3-3, who sent his boar over to secure the water rune there.
Wow.
Pretty high level plays coming out.
That's some 33 things, you know, this guy, he always does these like little things.
Oh, she didn't win?
Gonna get gone on a little bit down bottom here, brought down all of the mana.
Ooh.
Does have 6 charges, so won't be going down, but just annoying for Skitter.
Kind of era captain, right?
Down
Has
like
since mellowed out.
Yeah, I do think when Phoenix gets level 3, this lane does become pretty hard for Skitter. But we'll see. It's a bit weird. It's a little hard for me to try and estimate how this lane goes, because I usually don't see this Phoenix as a core.
Is there anything that you sort of anticipate that
Phoenix
like
core kind of weird.
coming out because it is going to be
Apa?
on the core? Like,
T1 Samper Doom Buko Phoenix.
The thing is that Tundra has okay
Jadi Phoenix
killers on the
3.
best. They have
Doom
the
4.
Beastmaster Aurora with Medusa.
Swap guna.
But I do think in the early stages of the game, like having a high-level Phoenix is going to be very hard for Tundra to fight into.
Okay.
So maybe that's the thought process here. We'll see how it turns out. As we do see that Beastmaster goes for 2 in Wild Axes, which is
about to ask about that.
Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe he doesn't want to max out the board just because he's playing against a Crystal Maiden. But this is not something we see very often.
Really interesting. Saksa makes the rotation all the way over towards bottom now and is gonna run right into Coral, trade a couple hits.
Saksa, anjir Saksa so annoying.
He also can't go for the bottom rune.
Damn, that's
So
aku mainstream.
Situation. Whitemon's gonna get the deny, and Saksa makes the move to try and punish Carl a little bit more. Already used the orb.
Yeah, both supports doing a good job of like helping with the runes here because you can see both Void Spirit and Puck are very low on regen. So they must have been communicating to their team like, hey, you know, come help me get this rune, and good job by both actually.
Carl goes all the way back home. Skitter throws out the snake down.
Whoa, that's actually very good creep buat Tumanjir.
Definitely top 3 creep in the bottom lane, and Cuckoo is level 3.
Mana burn spell.
Oh kan stream C dah.
Iya, stream C.
For the Phoenix because Duza is a very slow target, so it's pretty.
Oji masih belum ini aja, masih belum mulai.
Also got to keep in mind the benefit that you're getting as Bloodseeker because Medusa is down. Well, it was down fairly low, so we'll have to keep our eyes there. Wait a minute, a bit of a jaunt in. Carl trying to go for the kill onto 9 here. Getting the creep wave in on top of him.
Whoa, Carl!
Draws first blood so
well played, anjir.
Nicely done by Carl.
Down bottom.
Yep.
Damn, T1.
Yeah, they were whittling her down for a while.
Yeah, Carl, it's his best hero for sure. So nicely done by him getting that solo kill. That is obviously.
I saw something really weird.
You know, he's gonna get level 6 already. Maybe they can set up something in the Void Spirit after he heals up. And bottom lane as well, Duza going down. And that's something that is a bit of a weakness in Tundra that we see here, is that Grimstroke and Medusa, they do not have synergy together at all in the lane.
No.
You know, this Inkswell is fairly useless.
Whitemon moving in, and 9 does have 2 Astral.
Whoa!
Good play. Able to dodge away from that coil. Carl has to back out, but they are still pushing onto 9 a little bit here. There's a rotation coming in from the Grimstroke, and they decide to turn. And with the Inkswell, Zephyr, he's going to get caught. He's going to get slowed. Will he go down in the end? Infernal Blade, Carl walks back in for round 2. Saksa forces him away on the Puck. And it looks like Puck should be able to jaunt out and be fine, but the battle continuing, and well, the CM, it's just what's going to happen if you're left.
Yeah, I think Carl.
Kok aku nggak nemu sih stream C-nya anjir? What the fuck?
Namanya cuma ESL.
Oh, ESL toh.
The supports of T1 were chasing him.
Oh, ESL. Nah, mainstreamnya no ESL Dota soalnya.
Iya, mainstreamnya ESL Dota. Yang stream C ESL.
Anyways, he's gonna get his bottle refilled over. You can see
gila, lagi yang nonton Dota banyak loh, padahal bukan match hari gede gitu loh. Tapi yang nonton total di Twitch aja itu wes hampir 100.000 loh.
Macur lan sejak lama. Asli, vibe dan hype-nya bener-bener kerasa anjir. Nggak peduli. Anjir. Akib. Medusa?
Tinggal nang sunatan ya Allah.
So I guess what they did with the Phoenix was good. Like I wasn't entirely sure about it, and they're proving that it's working out. So good call by T1. But at the same time, 33 at the top lane, he's been having a completely free game. Even though he first took his hero, and T1 basically got their, you know, their choice of how they want to deal with this Beastmaster. He has a completely free game.
Tenang. Whitemon ki guruku main CM.
Dark Troll Summoner, which is a crazy hero.
Ini ceweknya lagi KKN ini anjir.
Ketemu iku aja, ketemu karo berdarah wuhi musuh. Iya, cocok aja. Bener. Iki siapa berarti Widya ya? Panggil CM Widya. Namanya Widya ya guys.
So yeah, both teams actually have some things.
Berdarah wuhi. Masih dalam posisi yang kesulitan untuk dapat wasit di situ.
And top lane, the 33 Beast
Sampai nanti menit berapa?
gonna take over the game, and he did max Wild Axes, which is
Berapa,
very
Bro?
rare.
Menit berapa?
Top of the roar here.
845.
Ada roar?
Roar, Gabi. Oke, kayaknya hampir sing iki.
I mean, 33 is such a player. I love this
Damn,
guy.
33.
Alright, a
Whoop.
little bit of a turnaround there. Carl
Kick
gets
lah.
on the wave.
Wow!
Masih bisa lolos tuh, gila.
If there's something to be
Nah,
said
that's
about
very
Southeast
good,
Asian
Carl.
players is that they have very good understanding of when to taunt and when to
Yes.
tip and when to high five.
I like that. That's good. It's always an important quality to have in a player.
Aspiro paham
Carl is very good at. He's
passive
definitely like
mechanism
kind
aja.
of PM, but like in a pretty
Kadang nek misalnya AOE disable sing steal ngono. Masih bisa lolos iku ya apa ceritanya?
Soalnya dia ngeblink di dalam phase shift.
I'm very curious.
Bisa kayak gitu.
Bisa.
Di shift berarti ya.
Specifically, I want to know
Nggak
why
di
he
shift.
decided to go for this wild axe.
Jangan di shift.
Is it just because of the Crystal Maiden?
Malah nggak di
Malah
queue.
nggak di shift, nggak di queue. Kalau di queue dia bakal ngeblink setelah spell selesai. Tapi kalau itu keluar dari chrono misal, itu blinknya itu di dalam phase shift.
I'm not sure if that's reason enough. So it's something that's very interesting to hear from like people.
Iso ngono ternyata,
Bisa.
baru tahu loh.
Tapi syaratnya satu, harus ngeblink ke arah yang dia menghadapnya sama supaya dia nggak perlu belok.
Oh, turningnya.
Scan is going to connect right
Kalau
now.
dia belok mesti kena.
I mean, the
Oke. Noted
This is
then,
the kill if
noted
they
then.
get it. He is the top net worth here in the game.
Carl,
just under
33,
They
big
spot him now in the
big
coils
target.
there. Zephyr follows
Lumayan nih.
White Moth.
Siapa?
Look, he's dying to the skeletons.
Di sini.
Anjir, tapi 33 sempet ngekill Widya anjir.
He will end up falling, and
Anjir.
on the other side, 9 gets the
Widya di
TP
kill
away.
cok, saya sempet
Oh
anjir.
man, the team is like.
Soalnya di Krokoti troll pas jadi Widya di skenario hampir ditarik sama Bibidara Wuhi anjir.
Tarik Bibidara Wuhi. Loh, kebetulan anjir iki setan-setannya kumpul anjir iku sing mata abang ono iku.
Setan-setannya muncul.
Ono.
With the skeletons, maybe that is a thought process that you get this dominator.
Anjir, anjir.
You get the damage amp, but really cool
Phoenix.
to see.
I love it. The
Is
enemy of
Grimstroke
Phoenix,
dying anjir.
the silence
Woo.
comes out right there. Well, actually down.
DPS ya anjir.
Nine's in trouble. He does
Slowly
have
burning.
2 steps here, but
Ini
he's
tapi ya ini
they're
core
gonna see
Phoenix,
what
jadi tipiknya banyak. Menari, Widya menari,
Anjay.
nge-skill anjir. Widya menari, aduh. Dan dia gak di-kill sama Bididara Wuhi anjir, berhasil kabur.
Taking the tower.
Bener kan Widya gak mati anjir.
Gak mati anjir. Kuku. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That was look at the damage done by this CM. Actually, she didn't do
Damn.
She just went full on frozen.
Damn. Anjir.
Coming in and just dying.
Aku mikir
and this
Oh.
ultimate on CM
Phoenix
is
itu
so
fire
powerful because
spirit-nya
it's a
damage tick-nya gede yo.
The cooldowns
Damage-nya
explosion
Gede
damage
banget
is
totalnya.
increased.
Kalau misal 4 mati kena
Dan numpuk gitu ya. Maksudnya kan satu bola kan 80 DPS 4 detik. Jadi itu ada potensi 80 kali 16. Alias 320 kali 4. 1280 itu potensi sih. Kalau misalnya warnya bisa lama, itu masih belum Sunray, itu masih belum masih belum skill 1. Kalau ketemu tumpuk, mungkin kalau bikin vessel ditambah Widya juga joget.
I don't know how it works on stream.
Anjay.
I'll also say, I think it's Whitemon that was the guy that liked to sing a lot. He streams a lot, you know.
It's perfect. I mean, it is one of his favorite heroes, so it all makes sense. And let's see like how 33 wants to continue in this game. So he is gonna go for the Helm of the Overlord.
Atas alasan apa saya perkaro
item of choice here.
saya perkaro
And yeah.
Soalnya jeneng offlaner
It's
ini
gonna be a fight
Kuku?
breaking on the mid
Sugar.
lane.
Dude,
I don't know.
Kuku does so
Kayak
much damage.
tiba-tiba, anjir.
Spirit Vessel ready.
Barusan
Like,
kemarin
he has-
Dumia
He's gone
offlane.
for 3-4-1 build on Phoenix. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Kayaknya salah klik gak sih?
Yeah, I think
Ada possibility. Ada possibility.
because
Kayak aku gak menemukan reason anjir.
deals a little more damage now.
Yeah.
Sama aja,
And you're not really playing on the
Literally
sun,
no.
you're playing on basically diving in and dodging
What?
5 spirits, and because
Why? I
you're
don't
high
really
level,
know.
it's gonna deal a ton of damage, and your egg is usually gonna be, you know, you're gonna have a higher level egg, so you're gonna be able to tank more.
Masalah
So
Doom.
I do think as a core
Doom kalau misal main 4 ku literally potensinya cuma yes, blink Doom minggat. Wes. Malah apa, Cok?
But I was theorizing
Blink Doom
that,
minggat, Blink Doom minggat.
it's actually
Ya,
one of
dan
the best
kesannya
sources
Phoenix
of the game
jadi
if you read it. You go from
offlane itu
25%
mirip 4
to
cuma nambah
50%
damage
slow,
dan
which is
aktif
kind
Yes.
of insane.
lebih cepat. Mungkin yang mungkin jadi juga
So,
jadi
it would've been
thought
cool to see.
proses
He didn't go for this game maybe
di situ
because
juga
he's playing
karena
against
mungkin
Weaver and Void Spirit, but it is good against Dusa in
offlane
particular, so
cenderung lebih lambat ya gara-gara cooldown dependent. Jadi mereka pengen main lebih cepat
Still doing a ton with that.
karena ketemu Medusa.
Gonna run right into Skitter again. Carl walks up the hill.
he does not
Kena loh ini.
don't
Wow, ngepas di pinggir ultinya.
return kills here.
Wow, anjir mananya langsung habis anjir.
But I think
they
they're
just
just
ditched.
canceling it. They're done.
Ya gak akan bisa selamat sih.
This is actually how
On
to
the other side though,
deal with Medusa.
Look at what he's doing.
Literally
He's got the helm of the Overlord
textbook
or
perfect
helm
gini,
of
how
the
to deal with
Dominator
Medusa.
locked, so,
Dikejar terus.
there he goes.
Iya, kayak wingi aku main Medusa kan di counter ngono anjir.
Did he just
Kayak aku pengen on dia ya.
I think he did.
A rare mistake.
And he pings it. He actually didn't realize.
Keparat.
It's a pretty annoying mistake. We do have a fight bottom here.
Dude, Whitemon, he's just going in.
Wow, anjir dia
Anjir,
menari.
Dia menari dengan semangat. Ambil kill
Roar.
situ.
They try and
3-3?
turn it with 3-3. So they make
Anjir.
a nice move. Whitemon, Frostbite runs away.
Tapi di situ ada kuku.
Kuku, unstoppable. Freaking keeps the pressure on. You know, he does have egg, but they also have that silence on him. He needs to take the spirit off and can go for the supernova
apik
if
sih
he
iku.
wants to, but they don't need him. Carl's in, finishes it off.
Cek dah.
Yeah,
Perasaanku saya ini kayak ndak di nerf anjir di di matcher yang
deals an incredible
di boom.
amount of damage. Same for Carl with the Switchblade, and we talked about Doom just being this also here that deals a ton of damage.
Ya, aku juga man.
Whitemon didn't opt to max out Frostbite, so his read on the game is like he wants to catch this.
Mas isi udah di airport belum?
And the max Frostbite is
Menang game
actually
1, menang game 1.
very powerful against a hero like Void Spirit and a hero
Ichi?
like Weaver, which is
Ichi
why
menang game
he went
1.
for this.
What?
So I
Kurang
like his
kurang
choice
satu
here.
game.
He's
Kalau
a
misal
talented
menang
player.
satu game ya
And if I
bakal
were
tiebreaker.
a decent singer, I would probably
Nanti
bust
bakal
out
bakal nasa
either way,
lagi
that
nanti.
would probably kill your ears.
Oh, it's fine. We can dare to dream for the future. Kuku up here on the top side might need to pop the
Kuku.
supernova. Actually gets it off, and he got the fire
Egg-nya
spirit.
kena tapi what the cow di belakang.
To stay alive, but the return kills will be good. They drop down the coil, and Weaver and Void Spirit both gonna fall. Yeah, he
Then
gets
he
a
gives him
no.
the tip. Yeah, imagine if he was level 12 there, they would not have killed him in time.
Oh no.
He was so close to level 12 on the bird. But still, nice return kills. Carl's another standout performance on his best hero. He's showing why this guy is such a good puck player. I'm loving watching this guy play puck. SEA pucks in general, just a scary thing.
It feels to me always as if it's a hero that most epitomizes the Southeast Asia region. Like you just have this like sort of flashy, really cool like ability to outplay people, and it feels like everybody in C has a puck.
Yeah.
But Carl's in particular is very good.
100%. And we do see them going to group up from mid lane. 33 did pick up the Ancient Black Dragon. So he does have his creep now. They're going to take this tower down. And let's see if they want to take over this Roche area or not. Or I feel like they need more time. And they cannot just straight up fight into T1 right now.
It's too much damage, yeah, until those BKBs
Clearly
come out,
they were okay with the Shaman, because I don't think anyone is surprised when you see a
did opt for Boots of Travel, so his read of the game is kind of to go later. I think you buy this when you're expecting the game to take longer, so he's not that strong right now, right? He did get an Arcane, which is nice, but he's only level 11, and he's nowhere near Ag, so I think they want to play this a little bit slow. But I still like how they're progressing on the map. Because, you know, they took over the enemy Ancients because they assumed that T1's on the other side of the map. So they're still playing well despite the fact that I don't think they can straight up fight into T1.
They need to. They need to buy some more time until those bigger items come out right now. In T1, they are going to opt to push across the river and maybe try and zone T1 out of this area as they're coming to invade the jungle. Zephyr has that Blink Dagger done and is actually really close to BKB even on this Doom. I mean, they're all farmed. Like, that's the other thing. I was looking at the CM even. This is a hero you normally imagine is, like, completely in the dumpster, has arcane boots, going into, like, Aether Lens. Like, what the heck?
Oh, he's going for the... Okay, there's going to be a fight breaking out. I'll nerd out about CM later.
Carl. Looking for an opening now. They are under a ward. This is a great ward for Tundra, but they're going to leave.
Yeah. They do not want a 5v5 T1. Unless they get some perfect opening, maybe kill the Phoenix before getting egg off. Okay, I can nerd out.
Nerd out. Let me hear it.
So it's a CM build that I thought was very interesting when you go Aether Lens and you play on just staying in the back and getting like a bunch of Crystal Novas, as we are gonna have fight in bottom lane.
Oh no, careful. Got him. They got a chase down. And now Snaking on the other side will manage to TP out.
High five was left. Carl did not get a high five back, but this guy has been a menace for this Void Spirit, Carl. He's just always catching him with the coil, and with this Witchblade, it's so much damage. Like, it's scary for Void Spirit to play this game.
So talk to me about this CM though. I want to hear a little bit more about this Nova thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a build. It's kind of like what I call the greedy build on CM, where you buy Arcanes, you go for this Aether Lens, you play on. I thought you would take the Crystal Nova talent with this, the AoE talent, because the entire idea is just to stay. He's just dying to these creeps.
What the heck?
There's a flying hawk just dropping from the sky.
Oh, double stun.
Skuku, he does have Supernova, but the chain said he gets it off. He gets the Supernova off. 9.
Oh, tapi ada saksa di
a couple more punches comes in. It's too late. Oh, and they lose a couple, but Zephyr moves in now as well. And oh god, T1, what have you done? It all started with the CM tip and they're all died. Where was Carl? They needed help. He's not there.
I just can't talk about the CM build. I will never complete my thoughts. But no, that's all thanks to 33. He has the dive bomb, and the dive bomb set that up with the Inkswell follow-up. The bird just dies, you know, gets the egg off, but nobody was there to help him. So very nicely done by 33.
Oh, almost got the dive bomb again. Carl.
Oh no. Are they gonna tip him though? Yeah, they're gonna tip him.
You know, I think they might.
Yeah, that's the danger of, you know, when we're gonna see a replay of that fight. You can see the bird. He does get the egg off, but nobody's there to actually help him. And it would have been so close if Carl was there, maybe gets a Yules off on somebody. Gabby walks in, and the sad thing is that Gabby has a BKB flying to him on the courier. He was not ready for this fight. This was not a planned fight. This was like some random hawk coming from the sky and stunning you. And in the actual game, we're still gonna have more action here as Doom goes down in a trade for a snaking, but still, Tundra get the Aegis. They surprisingly give it to the Beastmaster.
He's the real carry here.
Actually, huh.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
No, think about it for a second. Let's think about it for a second here. So 33 makes Skitter strong, right? Like when you play against a Beastmaster. Okay, there's a fight. Go ahead, Lyrical. Go ahead.
You'll get some stuff out in a little bit here. I mean, it does mean that if they kill Skitter, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Whitemon being just a wall in which you can play in front of. Saksa scouting things. Still sitting there. Skitter, cool as a cucumber. The dive bomb connects onto Cuckoo. But they won't get anything else afterwards. And Whitemon looks like he's going to live through it. So talk to me. Skitter, rather 33 makes Medusa strong.
Yeah, so when you play against Beastmaster, killing him in the fight is usually your #1 priority because the hero makes everybody else strong. You take away the Beastmaster from the fight, they're gonna lack vision, they're gonna lack this extra damage, attack speed, these auras. Orchid, but he does have Yules, times it nicely. He's gonna get Revenant here, and then he's gonna die. Nice.
Man, that's
Revenant,
rough.
not Revenant. Ha.
Cuckoo, get away. The bugs are on you. They're coming.
So I do think this Aegis choice is definitely, like, there's thought behind it. And it's pretty next level because Skitter is hard to kill.
Yeah.
But they can kill the Beastmaster. They kill the Beastmaster, this Medusa is going to be a lot weaker because I think Medusa is a hero that, you know, you kind of want buffs on her, and that's what the Beast gives you. So it's kind of a cool idea.
Dude, and they also got the frenzy. Gonna frenzy
Buyback.
Skinner here in a second. Buyback on the Carl. They're actually going in for this fight, but they're all leashed up together. Have to be careful. 33, I mean, again, you kill him, he's coming back in just a moment. And they're gonna get ready for the fight.
Wait, who used him? That was Carl,
sure.
actually, I think.
I mean, Supernova, it's going to land right afterwards. He's still in trouble. They run in afterwards, but do they have enough damage? Once that Beastmaster is dead, muted up Doom, and Whitemon, oh, gets the ulti, hidden away in the trees, doing what's needed, but can't find anybody else. Medusa is gonna die, time-lapse back in, tries to kill him off, and Saksa will go down. So Tundra now are the ones that lose 4 heroes.
Yeah, very, you know, a surprising fight, dare I say so, with the buyback on Carl. I think T1 is like, they're saying that these guys, they have no business fighting us. Why is this happening? So they make the call to buyback on Carl. They kill the Beastmaster first, and then he was kind of left for dead when he respawned. He does not have the BKB on the Beast, and as soon as the Beastmaster dies, like I said, this is such a key hero to have in the fight. After that, I think it was T1's fight to take. You know, they're just gonna be able to kiter on the Duza with the Doom, and there's just not enough damage coming out of Tundra just yet.
The Aghanim Scepter was completed on 9, but it's still tough to play Interrupt when they all in your hero like that, and the Supernova is there to cover the, you know, Aegis respawn on 33, and are they gonna get him? Cuckoo jumps, BKBs, and just is going to head out.
Apakah uji sudah mulai?
No way to burst that hero, at least not quickly enough.
Tes
So the BKB is a good choice by Cuckoo because the
Apakah uji sudah mulai rekan-rekan?
through Void Spirit jumping him. The bottom lane.
Tes. Halo. Am I here?
Saksa dead.
Like.
And the Zephyr is actually really strong. He's overtaking his Phoenix in net worth.
It's kind of wild.
He's the carry now, and they all mass TP top. They want to chase here.
Snake King, the Witchblade, the DOT coming through and finding their man. Does manage to get the taunt, the roar down, but the heal
the dive bomb.
Be enough. No, dive bomb was what ended up finishing up. And Cuckoo keeps running in for more. Does have that Supernova still.
Look at that
Aether
has
Rupture. Yeah, the range is so nuts. He Astral steps away to die in Rupture. That happens to the best of us.
That's the lens for sure by the CM. But yeah, Carl does die, and he did buy back the last fight, so he's gone for a very long time. And they still want to fight here. Doom up in 6 seconds.
If they can get it, hoof stomp. No, this is Zephyr. Rare miss.
Just barely out of range. But
What's happening?
Beyond the beast as well. So still, I think both teams are okay with that trade overall.
Yeah, Ochi mulai.
They take over the map.
Could be in for a rough time if Seneko can catch him.
We see again another Amar Underlord.
Amar Underlord? Amar Underlord means Ochi wins game 2.
Yes, of course.
Amar Underlord WR Sep.
Iki tunggu sing gak ada yang menang wingi. Satu hit. Nah, harusnya kayak ada Yuragi le.
Jangan greedy. Oh, pak BCM. Tapi nggak ada damage up. Itu mid ya, mid Pango.
Soalnya tadi Sep udah low banget ya. Kalau misal dikejar itu mati.
Wah, ini nggak works anjir mau ngekill Amar pakai right click biasa kayak gitu.
Lagi segede-gedenya Soneiko punya Shaman itu nggak segede itu, tapi Darkseid iki pattern yang diulang anjir. Aku terus tak kamu keinget kemarin pol lagi. Anjir NP versus Underlord jadi bantai.
Makanya.
But the one game lead for them once again looking good. They play the lanes well and they can keep this going. Betboom will struggle. We'll see.
Benar.
Hits his peak though.
Ya Betboom
harus
really early with MP.
Iya, struggling. Betboom bakal struggling ini. Ke Amar hari. Aku pengen lihat draftnya Ichi sebentar. Ichi draftnya oke. Tapi kena bad rider.
Fairly standard puck build. Whenever we do see this hero, it's usually been Witchblade.
Iya. Tapi better offlane. Ya, kayaknya Ichi menang. Yes.
It's particularly good as well when there are like a 5 and a 4 on an enemy team that you can hunt out easily with the Witchblade residual damage, right? I think someone was commenting to me about the fact that with Storm or Puck or whatever, you can usually get people down to like 20% HP, right? And that Witchblade
What's with
take the damage to bring them down to 0, because effectively in
Amar sih ke berapa ya? Gak lihat pick-pickannya.
versus 100%
Tapi Andrew so strong.
If you don't get the kill, you don't get the kill.
Yep. Mars top lane now with 72 bonus damage. Spits on Dahawk's DD. Rooney doesn't need that with 303 build here. Now he's maxed the Atrophy Aura.
Max Aura. I like it.
Seneko can hope to do there. No chance even with his very high base damage to get that CS. As Amar will be forced back.
No, bottom lane though, Yuragi is in trouble.
Yuragi?
Once again,
Yeah.
committing the
Arena
they
plus
guarantee the
AA.
skill. No help yet from the Hawk, who hasn't rotated, but since they're still getting
Arena dan AA actually will be the damage.
utilizing this early momentum from the AA. You know, Cold Feet is a pretty strong spell with a stun, and they're accomplishing 2 kills already on Yuragi. Laurel could be in trouble. There's a coil available. Yep, Laurel.
Laurel?
Hard against BZM. There's the
And
coil.
that's very good coil, anjir.
This was gonna happen, and they punished him hard for it.
It's pretty major, right? Especially if they take a little bit of farm in this 9-minute camp window. As Laurel doing pretty decent as far as his farm game goes. He's gonna have Diffusal up, and like I said, that's gonna be a big damage item here for Bet.
Gila sih. Ini Koreuchi menang laning di 2 lane.
Especially as he has now the completed
Kayak
Melon his way. Notice though,
Sep.
once again going for another
Stunnya Sep, keluarin. Desak, distun, please. Dua. Ya,
Dia pengen nyari. Ya. Aduh, tapi ada portal. Ada portal. Anjir, Yuragi lari ke atas.
Aku seneng gak?
Anjir, kami kasih Riko. Anjir, what is this? Seru anjir.
Lah gila. Wah, ngacau sih gue portalnya anjir.
Sampai menit berapa tuh aku kayak delay?
It's the Hawk in his mortal form.
Yes. Tower top will fall. Tower
Oh,
bottom falls.
BZM.
Too eager to trade there. I have a feeling though, once Taiga does get his ultimate up that relocate, we might see a couple more people sparring in these very, very global engagements. But
Taiga IO.
that's kind of the proof in the pudding right there, right? Amar
Predator.
gets these fights very, very quickly now that he's got level 6.
Last time it doesn't work well. Taiga IO. Kayak
Kudu
hero.
Ya, bukan hero nya Taiga.
Ini saya pas ngedraft kayak, ayo kamu pasti bisa main seperti Jerax.
Anjay.
I don't know if you want to fight with the Razor necessarily. Perhaps you can just gank with the Amar squad.
Tapi secara adu core sih, kalau adu core Auchi menang ini.
Good silence there. Laurel has Diffusal. The inhibit, though, of course, will not slow BZM's illusory orb. They're about to hit this double timing as well, Avo. Maelstrom now is ready to go here. Should be flying on to Dahawk.
Aku enggak.
Arena kena Amar the mid defender, tapi
Aku jujur seberapa paham. Aku jujur nggak seberapa paham how nice.
Nice. Relocate.
Oh, Yuragi dewean tapi. Aduh,
Yuragi. IO sudah kembali dengan Fountain buff. Sep, Shaco.
Ih, gak pas.
Wow, side step dari Yuragi.
Hampir gua.
And by a really good relocate there by Taiga.
Super good relocate, and he actually TPs back to the tier 1 tower in the middle of the fight.
Iki real play-nya Taiga MVP ya. Fight mau.
Dan aku
Dan GM dia nge-save Yuragi. Iku sama sekali gak terbuang gue. Gila. Menang ya.
Menang sih ini.
Yeah, and the tower, which I think is the biggest part of
Ochi menang skill dan dia early lead. Ditambah Amar Underlord. Walaupun IO Taiga, tapi Sep Win Ranger.
But we haven't seen the active Hawk we're used to in the NP, right? I don't think we've seen a single teleport gank here.
We've seen, that was the second one, but that was
But a
curious.
successful one, like a single
not
skirmish?
successful,
Right.
no. They tried bottom and Amar showed up. They tried mid, TPs and relocate were there, right? And that's kind of
Damn, yeah, that's very nice concept. IO Underlord global presence.
Sorry, in his stash, and he didn't quite call it in that fight. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Maybe 1 or 2 procs kills the Razor. I guess if hindsight 2020, but he couldn't wait to get.
Did Sep play Underlord?
It was Betboom who proposed.
Dulu waktu masih plus 3.
Ya, tapi jarang. Kitnya Underlord memang nggak sama seperti sekarang. Dengan Fiance Kit.
I do think that
Pas itu dirubah. Tak kira itu di nerf ternyata lebih potensi anjir. Fiance Kit nggak perlu target creep soalnya. Literally di mana aja anjir. Walaupun ada minimal ring. Tapi minimal ringnya cuma 2000. Amar diburu. Smoke-nya break. Ya, smoke-nya break. Ketahuan Amar masih di daerah atas. Tetapi miss semua. Semuanya miss.
Mantap lah.
Iya,
Aman dia.
Anjir. Itu space itu anjir.
Kayak gua anjir ya, gua lag banget.
Smoke.
Smoke bait. 3 hero. Enough sih.
Yuragi masih belum punya BKB tapi tetap YOLO karena ada Taiga di belakang. Laru kena. Ya,
mati sih.
Pak itu counter full buat Mangu anjir. Aduh,
kok
tapi sayangnya ke stun, relocate-nya ke cancel.
Oh nice. Amar tiba-tiba semburi aja. Parah. Enak banget hero ini aja. Mati kok.
Iya.
Aduh.
Yuragi ngeri Taiga nggak apa-apa. Hasil latihan.
I trusted you buddy, but you left me.
They are capable of playing on their own. The lack of farm here, 7k lead at 15 minutes is a huge amount. You expect them to be much more farmed. Him as a base hero is really doesn't do as much. You do have the little bit of rest in nature of the fights. The Shroud helps a little bit, but Betboom is just not ready.
Suaramu gak pada jelas Jir.
Iya Jir, suaramu kayak anjir.
Suaramu relocate kena spear cancel ya.
Enggak, ke cancel apa kena stun,
silence, Eul. Root sih balik. Ya wes ikut stun silence.
He wants to find, yes, I mean, to their credit, right? They're playing very well, but
they picked it into the puck.
Koyok cancel channeling. Biar cancel channeling. Soniku, Shaman King. Tapi resourcesnya habis di-save semua. Tapi Pak kena Amar, nggak punya ulti. Oh. Actually caranya manage daripada Underlord adalah memanfaatkan ulti dari Fiance Kit.
It is Fiance.
Bukan Fiend. Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend.
Jadi
aku nggak tahu sih.
Fiance.
Fiance.
Shadow Fiend. Jadi itu V. Kalau dipikir-pikir memang mirip friend, tapi nggak ada letter konsonan sebelumnya.
Lah Nova temen aku lagi kerja.
Soniko masuk ke Fiance Gate.
We almost have the Blink Dagger on Soneko as well. For a 5, not the worst timing. They have giving him kind of equal farm priority to Force Major, who is soon going to be getting that shard. And a very important kill there on Yuragi. However, BZM still the most farmed tier for OG.
Who was the match yesterday, right?
Wajir.
Labs versus Insane.
Wajir.
Just kind of high five.
Kok di oh mungkin atasnya karena atasnya itu jadi di apa namanya di 40.
Oh, because of Mar.
Yes.
Oh, that took me a while.
That's okay.
Yeah. That wasn't fair, you see.
No, there is an effort fair.
BKB for the Hawk, still a whiles away. If you're
Udah,
Backboom, these
Rehat
pickups are
udah
fantastic,
punya
but I think OG should stop.
sudah punya shard,
Like, they have a lot of
jadi
gold
bisa
potential,
membantu
and
buat
Yuragi
push
is
lanes.
oftentimes seen alone simply with Taiga. Maybe they need to play a little bit more defensively. This is the best way, of course, to expand your farm, though. So that's why OG is just trying to control the whole map, even at the expense of some of their heroes.
Okay.
Maybe they don't think these skills are even that major for them.
Good TP out there from Amar. Smell the smoke coming, and we'll join the rest of his team. Pardon me, over in the top lane. They're gonna sweep wide with the mid-tier 1 tower down. This is a move they can make, but OG is actually doing the same. So a little bit of the toilet bowl maneuvers as the water is swirling around here. Let's see where they will meet. Looks like right in the river here outside the Roche pit. That smoke here is a bit fresher than Bet Boom's, so he's still under the cover even though he is underneath a dire ward.
Saya berusaha mecah smoke seperti biasa.
Mar very eager to collect this gold.
Seperti biasa.
Will now see him.
Aduh,
Oh, I think he
literally.
scouted the ward. Yeah,
Yes.
nice job, Amar. He scouts the ward.
Well done.
Yeah, he aggroes the
Yeah.
creeps on, and because they
Oh,
continue to
what?
Amar the father.
Actually, oh damn, benar juga ya. Amar squad the ward anjir. Tiba-tiba creep wave-nya naik,
And because that ward is a
ngagro ke Amar, jadi ketahuan wardnya.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, they figure out this for the Hawk. Or the Hawk.
Oh, iku war tinker dah.
Bukan ward tinker, tapi ward yang di ini ya, yang di tengah ini, yang kena sana.
Iya.
Anjir.
Very well done there. So Taiga's like, yeah, you were right. Good job.
BZM.
Nah,
solo kill.
Doesn't matter though, because Soneko just bought his Blink Dagger, so no gold.
Suneko selalu jadi target prioritas sih untuk pakai. Vince Gate. Tahan.
Mar's got a bit of a route for himself as well. Ice Blast
Tapi ada arena dengan Ice Blast.
push Amar into the explosion. Taiga
Tapi ada relocate.
out and does successfully manage to
Anjir.
his partner. Well, will they bring him back? They might consider it. It looks like Yuragi and Seb are actually running on over.
Yeah,
Yo.
nearby.
Balik.
Bareng deh iku.
Biding their time.
Balik lho ya.
Something's gonna happen. Amar comes back.
Amar, nice.
Balik punya BKB anjir.
Position, can't get hit by the right
Anjir,
trigger.
disaster.
He's being slammed.
Nggak expect sih mereka.
Diced and diced. No, shot in the back and killed. Yuragi still chasing
Taiga.
the Force Major, hoping for a kill, at least on a support.
Wow, Shackle. BZM ke belakang, Yuragi mengambil Habis, mengejar ke arah Laro. Habis itu ada Soneko dengan Shackle dan ultinya. Ternyata cukup damage, tidak ada disable ke arah Soneko.
Well done there. Soneko goes, absolutely not. You get out of my base.
Yes.
He wasn't having any of that. That was
No, he wasn't. My heart wasn't either.
Anjir.
Oh my god. Petboom, yeah, they get the kill on the buck there. Really good hex. And Soneko, once again, is positioning impeccable. And there's the quote-unquote Blink Dagger reveal, we could say. Because I don't think they saw him buy it earlier.
no, and really nothing that Razor could do either. Yuragi cannot tank a tier 3 tower. Those things absolutely shred this early on as they go diving beyond the tier 1, beyond the tier 2
Anjir.
into the base.
Shard.
OG will be repelled.
Creep shard.
If they did fight beautifully around that nice relocate.
I mean, these plays, though, I do gotta question if they're the best plays you can make, right? Is there a need for you to play that aggressively and try to get out the relocate and everything? I mean, I guess it was a really clever play. Like, it's really impressive if it works, right? But if you're winning, is there a higher risk to reward? I'm not sure.
In terms
Sep.
of who? Of
The
diving like
original,
that?
the
Or
original
Smoke?
play of the diving for sure
Lara?
was a bit of an overextension,
Yeah.
right? But the
Ketahuan dong.
Maybe.
I understand where it come from. It
Yes,
overstated
maybe.
Ada Rosan.
because he didn't see the Blink Dagger for the shaman.
Sure.
And their shaman could get to him quicker than he thought. Fair enough, I get that. But the play by the Underlord was interesting. If anything.
I guess they were just
Ada war.
Mati sih gua Soneko anjir.
good reason as they will blow through Soneko.
Oh, tapi
Wah,
Amar
nggak bisa, Taha nggak bisa kayak gitu.
Nah,
Tapi ada arena.
masih ada BKB tapi.
Wow,
Sayang banget BZM harus mati bareng Taiga loh iku. Oh, ada fans gate.
Vince Gate, waktunya pulang Yuragi.
trying to get the pick off onto Notice, but he lives on 100 HP, and now Laurel looking for +1 to
Oh.
Hawk.
Mati sih. Bad fight. Ketahuan tadi itu.
For Bet Boom.
Well
Damn.
done. And here, you know what the impactful item was? Pango's Shard, Richie. He was capable of finally getting out of the pit of Malice. In addition to Dream Cold not being impactful, the puck couldn't use it because he knows the Shard is now online. And Laurel could finally be useful in these team fights. It feels like he's been liberated. We usually talk about peak items.
Shard,
as a point of a
Shard Pango is actually so good anjir. Jadi karena shardnya itu diem, jadi itu nggak kehitung mobility spell. Yang
Jadi
berarti,
bisa
nah, dari leash.
Quickly realizes I am not going to win this fight. I have to use my beacon.
Which is so weird moment
He has
anjir.
the ability to simply come back. That was a TP, I believe. He did not use the teleport. I didn't see the little dance
Suneko.
animation as I hear a shackle. It's over to a
Shackle.
lane where they have caught a
Tapi nggak ada damage loh.
and the wind is blowing him back. Mango's gonna make the jump in.
Wow, di belakang Suneko.
Again, but Suneko in more trouble as Rocky.
Coil ke arah 2. Tetapi apakah ada cukup damage? Anjir, notice.
They ice blasted him. Soneko's still alive. Someone needs to do a bit more damage. He gets another ether shock onto Sam.
Anjir, nangsang anjir.
Anjir. Stepnya
Step bro, I'm stuck anjir.
Iya anjir. Ceweknya diperkosa anjir sama pohon.
Anjir. Diperkosa sama pohon, ada kemungkinan diperkosa sama ular anjir. Jadinya KKN lagi.
And even if he died, doesn't really matter because he guaranteed the kill on Amar, and eventually Seb as well was surrounded by the treants there. SMY now finished on Yuragi, hoping to deal with the shaman a little bit better here.
Yuragi way alone.
Tertangkap.
Yeah, that was easy. I don't know if maybe Roche is potentially. I think it is. No buyback. They don't know that, of course. But Razor
dapat Roshan anjir.
This armor here, of course, on the lucky shot here is going to aid them greatly. No serpent wards. That one shackles, of course, actually makes a. Or sorry, the one ether shock makes a big difference because this is a different style of shaman that we usually see. This is not 1-4-4 shaman. It's 4-4-2 right now as they blow through Roche Aegis there on Laurel. So the ether shock making a big deal of difference. It's a lot of damage that spell.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Not the hackle shaman.
Not the hackles.
What is this? That aggression. The heather
to build up.
The X.
On the other end of the things, you do
What
have
the
the
fuck?
BKB now available on RTZ, so he might want to try and use that to force.
What the fuck? What the fuck with the cast anjir? What? What happened?
Anjir.
Castnya audionya masuk.
Production.
Production. Halo. Halo. Halo.
Production.
I don't want to watch near airport soon airport anjir. Woi.
Not much stopping.
And this Wraith back is going to greatly reduce Pango's damage. I think
Anjir.
huge amount of area damage from this guy. It's been kind of low.
Kan Ceres gak main di sini anjir.
The Hawk finally
Kesasar anjir no OG.
Makanya anjir.
Top is going to be under pressure, maybe forcing a response out.
Aduh. Ichi near airport anjir.
Aduh. Yuragi bisa kabur. Aduh iki spike wis anjir.
Audio. Halo.
ISL tumbling anjir.
Ya ini ada yang nge-hack deh ini anjir. Arena? Hah? What the fuck? Arenanya game sebelah itu anjir.
Komen.
Iki apa sih aneh banget anjir audionya. Nah.
Aduh, Ichi near airport, Ichi no. Free Jerak, hashtag free Jerak anjir. Jerak despair. RTZ port. Aduh, so sad. Easy. Fly is right.
Well played by them. They could try to punish this play, but it's a bit difficult when the enemy holds your triangle.
It's a bold move. AA's down bottom. Ice Blast will take about, I don't know, 15 seconds to get. Not that long. It may be like 8, but
it's actually arena plus spear.
Yeah.
And you'll get it. So it's not really that
Lah,
big.
aku mangan.
And actually, it looks like OG will just sweep across the map, potentially towards this AA. Not really the kill that they want, of course. Notice it's a bit hard. Pango's got an Aegis. 2 minutes.
I did want to touch on the point that you made earlier about the... Oh, sorry, wait. Notice has to kill IO first. The Taiga's like, oh no.
Oh, this Taiga kena catch.
Wow,
Wow, damage-nya tadi.
Dies in 5 hits.
Does
Anjir, Vrepeknya udah keluar, alias Fatboom seharusnya nggak punya damage sekarang.
By just protecting himself. And yeah, on the point that you were saying about the biggest farm, the most farm core on Fatboom being the NP, this tri-core lineup of OG could take advantage of the situation and itemize completely against NP. You know, Heaven's halberding, mainly that, and then stop the MP from being as impactful. AC would not be a bad idea either because he's mostly physical damage, right? And ignore the rest of the team. But of course, the Pango's having so much impact with honestly not that much farm that it's kind of difficult to commit all your items just to the MP.
And it's really the shard, right, that makes the biggest difference there. Amar, by the way, he's going to have a harder time normally with this H4 and Max Hold. I thought they're going to hex him from the low ground immediately, and they go. They're going to try and get through Amar before the BK can get off, and it looks like with the Ice Blast, that is all but a certainty as the Hawk doesn't even need the Ice Blast. Amar pings that they have vision there, and he'd be correct, because he has a whole minute to contemplate that little play. But the problem for him that he's now having is that even though Atrefior is fantastic against NP, and overall this hero is very good against him, NP is a hero that naturally builds into a break. He's got it online now, so he does not care about Atrophy. He is going to absolutely shred you in that duration.
Yeah, it's true. Also get rid of the Uragi Shard, which is actually kind of a big deal, the Storm Surge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People underestimate how important the shard is. I think it's kind of crazy, especially when you have more static heroes, like, no pun intended, like Nature's Prophet, right? The single second is slow allows Raze to just outrun them, essentially.
Maybe they're gonna have that shard, I think.
He's farming underneath a ward. They know where Uragi's trying to TP. They're going to look for Taiga, who does not have one for 30 seconds.
Available right now. The only crit and Arbed as Nightfall is going to jump in, but the roster again going to lock him down through the BKB. He'll put the shield up, try to survive in the arena, but they are chasing him down. Nightfall, he has no choice but to die. No buyback available in the Mars.
They're going to kill on Taiga, who has been kind of playing almost like
with a 4v5
I guess because the best dead laner you have, quote-unquote, you know, the best lane shover out of the supports is the Wind Ranger. Io is not very good at that. Instead, he's been playing as the gank tanker. Yeah, gank tanker, which is usually the 5 position. So they swapped around a little bit, adapting to the game. I think it's fine for Taiga to die a little bit, but it is also true that whenever he's dead, you really do not want to take a fight as OG.
All right, Lincoln's up now for BZM Puck as well as for the Dahawk NP. Basher as well online for Laurel, so BKB TP out with Swashbuckle available is no longer, you know, a tempting option. And speaking of Bashers, Amar's also got one too. He didn't want to be left out.
Yeah, I like the Basher pickup by Amar, actually.
I do.
A way
really
to deal
like
with a potential roll-up on Pango, because he obviously has BKB as well, or even the Rolling Thunder.
I like it.
Yeah, noticed, just annoying him. They know that BB is definitely nearby, so they're poking and prodding. I don't think they'll commit too much, though.
It's a lot of poke, though, isn't it? Yeah, give me that Glimmer Cape, please.
No, you know, Puck is like the Iron Poker, right? He just brands you and says, it's mine now. And in fact, acknowledging this, they're going to go for a smoke because they forced Betboom out of the preferential position.
Yeah, Betboom don't want to fight. Seneco's TP top, so they've made the call to just back up and perhaps wait for next Aegis, as they are hunting, but Laurel quite speedy. Gale Force wins. Aren't going to be enough to catch him, but they're still hunting, as he will go ahead and roll up to try and evade this. And it seems like that will be able to get him out of harm's way.
Okay, Rolling Thunder, good. Right now, if you're Betboom, you got a small taste of what it feels like to dominate this game, but you don't want to lose it. They're not playing risky. They understand that OG still has a really solid team fight. And OG really playing on their timings and around BZM, essentially, who's now going to be building into more of the physical damage Puck, which in my opinion, by the way, Richie, is the best way to make Puck scale these days. The magic damage Puck kind of dead. The Axe is a good item and everything, for sure, but now with the Shard, that used to be the talent, of course, and the fact that Puck can also even go for the level 25 talent of the Rapid Fire, not that bad.
Another smoke play coming. OG have just lost their vision around this area, though, as the Hawk gets the D ward, and they show themselves mid with the spells. Obviously, this was just for the move speed. They know that Bet are in the air and they're looking for the jump, but Sonego's got a BKB. Seb starting to pile on the damage. Sonego traps himself inside the Servitor Wards and says, I will die surrounded by snakes. Laurel doesn't want to die to a storm though, but he is being taken for a walk as Yuragi has the leash and Laurel has absolutely no way to escape Swashbuckle, but still surrounded by trees. He will now gets a final bash off that.
Balik-balik. Oh, tuh bebek dua-duanya support dari dua tim. Sonego masih dalam dream coil, tapi Yuragi sendiri berangkat dunia connect.
BCM, Ammar di belakang. Best dari Ammar.
Mati dong. Mati Doxaknya.
Tapi Dasar punya buyback. BCM mungkin mau ngetrol dikit, forcing buyback.
Enggak ada yang bisa nangkep sih. Sebenarnya enggak apa-apa mau ngetrol dia.
Oh jangan. BCM berhasil nge-snipe. Karena notice.
Shit tuh. Satu-satunya yang bisa ngetek dia lama cuma si itu belajar shaman aja. Single-handedly.
Oh no, EG just lost anjir. Yeah, EG the second team to be kicked, yang pulang dari major
First team
main game first team iya sih, tapi secara play
game kan tidak
iya. EG near airport anjir.
Went for the Dream Core Piercer match community. This way, Pango is going to go back to his cancelled state. Nothing you can do against that, honestly.
Anjir.
Would probably explode there as the Ice Blast will delay this temporarily.
Coba di mic.
2 seconds for Dahawk, but even longer here, another further 15 until they have noticed back.
Dream Coil now.
Dream Coil.
Level 25 will make it so Shaman can't run away despite this BKB force being pushed back as well and killed. Tiger does die in the middle of engagement as a
Anjir, Ammar pukul-pukulan sama anjir.
Aduh.
Sako.
Cewek, aduh, gagengnya tapi
kok so strong. Tapi yang lain enggak kok itu mati semua sepertinya. Kok enggak sepasang.
Iya, anjir.
Tidak ada sesuatu dia pulang.
Yeah, doesn't look like he's going to go much further, though. A bit of a risky move. You don't know where the puck, you don't know where the Windrunner is gone. Great fight there. Great buyback from Force Major. Makes a little bit of a difference. You can just see how quickly Puck starts losing that 1v1 as soon as Atrophy Aura is down, right? They kill that... oh my goodness, hold on. We're not done fighting. A great shackles here by Seb as he pushes them into...
Anjir, pokingnya anjir. Whoa, that's a lot of damage.
But not without some... parting damage from BZM, who I thought was going to jaunt in on that.
I can't really play Pango so
stun there. Roche at about a 5th HP. Second Roche, by the way, still. Aegis and that Ag Shard is Betboom very eager to get back into the pit. They're at full strength now and have the outpost, so Sonego is coming back. A little bit lower on HP is Pango, but he's going to be regenning in the fountain and TPing momentarily. Yeah. The Hawk is trying to finish this one off, though.
Seb has a Blink Dagger though, you gotta be careful with this. He sets up with
Mars? Tapi tidak ada yang ketangkap. Tapi Yuragi di dalam! Yuragi!
Roshan Sobi!
BZM dapat kill, solo kill ke Mars. Ammar! Fiend's Gate!
Laurel is down. Betboom at least saves the Hawk. That's all they can do, Richie.
I believe so. I mean, in the chaos, I didn't quite catch who got Shard. I think the Hawk picks up Shard. No, he definitely bought it. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We'd have to see the replay of that.
Yuragi also had his before.
Yeah, Seb had his. Force Major had his. Pango had his. I'm not sure. Where's Shard? I don't see it.
Yeah, I actually don't see anyone that's consumed Shard. They didn't break it.
Maybe. Laurel's got one in his backpack. He's got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Laurel.
Itu Yuragi belum pakai refresher tadi.
Something that Betboom are going to be a little bit salty about is that spider legs.
Iya, anjir teh spider leg also value.
Kan menit tiro lagi.
365 3 3 3 3 6 5 4 3 6 5.
Aku lebih cepet saat detik.
Anjir.
Saat detik, cuma saat detik. Oh, tapi Sonegas. Oh,
kok bisa itu?
punish Seth for his transgression.
Woo! This BKB! Call this BKB!
They're stuck here. The Hawk, he wants to run away, leaving Soneko to die. That is gonna be a punishment for both. As the Hawk and Soneko lose their lives, the tips come out, and Bet Boom on a knife's edge, Richie.
Tier 2-nya gak keambil sama sekali aja Bet Boom. Ayo lah, push satu lah.
Oh, splitnya NP itu yang bikin kayak gitu.
Iya makanya.
Tapi NP sekarang mati sih, jadi kayak
aneh itu, the point. Let's go.
Sep tiba-tiba di situ. Anjir, multi ancient creep.
Ziragi is going to look for the last couple of tier 2 towers. Aegis still in his inventory for just shy of 3 minutes. Refresh, BKB, soon to be AC, and of course Taiga buffing him up this entire time.
Let's go.
It's the tower bot a little bit. We get
a
small lull in the game as the age is still up. They're not
Api banget guys. Even kayak Taiga api anjir.
Unless, well, I mean, if they don't do anything, they'll go, yeah, sure, we'll take the free towers, but it's a bit difficult. You know the enemy team can still counter-initiate you, so OG will take a chill pill, farm a little bit more, gets the next big item, which is the AC here on Yuragi.
Yeah, some nice items.
By the way, sorry, Revenant's Brooch on Puck.
Oh!
Brooch?
Yeah.
Revenant Brooch?
No, it doesn't.
That's such a big damage.
This one, well, 15k,
you know why, Richie? It's all because of Gunner's video. Gunner made the one video on Red and I was like, you know what, Gunner, you're right, dude.
That's all the tier 2s with this Aegis for OG. Might be considering to go up to high ground here. Taking a look at the buyback situation for Bet Boom. It's not too bad. Laurel having one and Dahawk also at the ready. While really Notice is not too far away. Basically one kill in the team fight and he should have it. Especially if he continues to farm like this. So the cores would buy back into this Aegis for OG, but OG hanging back, not really feeling the pressure to end this game immediately.
No, they know that they could play risky early. No longer is that window open, so they can go ham. They gotta get the right team fight.
We are getting a lot of level 25 talents to kick in though, so let's quickly catch up on Pit and Malice talents here for the Underlord. It seems underwhelming, it's very good. Notice is a bit far. Laurel has his, of course, Swashbuckle cooldown taken.
Yeah, better for a mid game or mid lane Pango. Sorry.
And the Hawk is very quickly approaching his. This is what he's gonna end up opting for. Haven't seen.
Oh, he did it. 2.5 trait damage.
Relocate. They're going top.
They're going top. They're relocating. It's going to be for Laurel, and that is a huge kill. However, he does have buyback. So
yes, he does.
Now you definitely force it. That's 98 seconds. Way too much time. Aegis 46 seconds. We did see a BKB, right?
Yeah, because they're ready. They want to fight on the way.